hear frequently, you know that the Horizon is a talk show where we feature a team of panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasions.
Free land of liberty.
Stick on the issue, I beg you, please. Let's stick on the issue.
In this world that God has created on this earth has money. It depends on how the leader is innovative.
Not good judgment. Okay, to be commingling, to be meandering with a man who appreciate him all you want, but it sends the wrong.
We do not have.
Here frequently, you know that the Horizon is a talk show where we feature a team of panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasions.
Free land of liberty.
Stick on the issue, I beg you, please. Let's stick on the issue.
In this world that God has created on this earth has money. It depends on how the leader is innovative.
Not good judgment. Okay, to be commingling, to be meandering with a man who appreciate him all you want, but it sends the wrong.
We do not have.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from. Again, welcome to a brand new season of the Horizon. This is season 6, episode 1. And if this is your first time joining us, by way of introduction, this is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. And the Liberia Radio and Television Network do the show right out of our Northeast office in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We also have our office open in Liberia for business as well. And tonight, Liberia Radio and Television Network, or LRTN, is proud to present episode 1, season 6 of the Horizon. And the Horizon, again, if this is your first time joining us, is an opinion-based talk show where we feature a team of panelists from different political persuasions, different political institutions as well. My name is Derrick Yallay. I will be playing host tonight on this show, on this brand new edition of the Horizon. Before I go any further, let me encourage all of you now watching us to please do us a favor to share this program on your Facebook page, and also make sure you're following this network. By way of information, this podcast is being streamed on Facebook on the Liberia Radio and Television Network Facebook page, and also being live streamed on YouTube as well. Again, it's been a while since we left your screen in the airwaves. So again, it's good to have all of you back here, and we are been in the back planning this program. So we have a lot of stuff set up for you tonight, discussing issues in Liberia and the diaspora as well. Just to give you a breakdown of how this program is going to be carried out, we'll first have the introduction, which is this one, and then we will bring you current events coming out of Liberia and the diaspora. And since it's the very first episode on season 6, we will have an open panel discussions here tonight. But we have a special guest on the show tonight, the newly elected president and vice president of the Unions of Liberia Associations here in the Americas. So we will be having a talk with them, and then we will have our panelists introduced to you, and we will have our discussion surrounding what caught their interest in Liberia politics for the past few weeks, maybe this week or last week. But for now, let's just get back to the current event. I was supposed to have my co-host here, so I will just go over, bear with me, I will go over the current events I have here from Liberia and then the diaspora. Again, guys, if you're watching us, make sure you're following this network on Facebook and YouTube. This is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. And my name is Derrick Yallay. Obviously, I'll be playing host here tonight. So just to bring you the current event coming out of Liberia, the president of Liberia is currently chairing a 3-day cabinet retreat, and he completed day one of the cabinet retreat today. So President Bouaka has 2 more days to go with meeting all of his cabinet, and he encouraging them to forget about the title and do a very diligent work for the Liberian people. Moving on to another development, there has been a lot of I will skip this development because I don't have the full story on that. So now, as far as the current event coming out of Liberia, we will stick to the president of 3 days cabinet and then move on to the current event in the diaspora. With that being said, let's talk about elections. For our current event, starting with South Africa, former President Jacob Zuma has been barred from South Africa elections that is scheduled to take place next week. So follow the Al Jazeera page for more information on that development. But as it is right now, former President Jacob Zuma is barred from participating in the elections in South Africa next week. Moving on to development here in the United States, this is 2024 is election year in America, and a lot of things happening here now is gearing towards the elections. So I will bring you a couple of important dates as we look forward to the election this year. Beginning with next month, the 27th will be the first presidential debate being hosted by CNN and between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. And that will be held at the CNN Atlanta studio. July 15 through 18, the Republican National Convention will be held in Milwaukee. And also moving on to August 19, 2020, August 19 to the 22nd, the Democratic National Convention will be held in Chicago from in Chicago as well. Now, the second debate, ABC presidential debate between President Joe Biden and Donald Trump former President Donald Trump will be hosted by ABC News. And then September 16 is the general election presidential debate. And that debate is scheduled to happen at the Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. The presidential debate will follow that in Lafayette College in Eastern Pennsylvania. And then the general presidential debate number 2 scheduled to happen at the Virginia State University in Petersburg, Virginia on October 1st. That will be followed by another debate on October 9th, the University of Utah in Salt Lake City, Utah. And then November 5th will be Elections Day. With that being said, and before I introduce our panelists for this episode, let me encourage all of you watching us to please share this program on your Facebook page and make sure you're following us on Facebook as well. And just by way of information, this podcast is being live streamed on YouTube and also on Facebook. With that being said, let me introduce my lineup for the night. From the panelists we have on here for this episode, and then we will get right into things. Starting with Mr. Martin Boda. Mr. Boda, welcome to episode 1, season 6 of The Hard Zone.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here, guys. It's been quite a while that we haven't been able to talk and discuss issues concerning the war in Liberia. I'm glad to be back and to have fun and to share knowledge and talk about issues concerning our beloved country, Liberia. It's a pleasure being with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now let's move on to the most talked about, most influential, most controversial Bishop Hager. Welcome to episode 1, season 6 of The Hard Zone.
Well, I'm very, very grateful tonight, excited tonight to be on your platform once again to help the Liberian people. So to our Liberian brothers and sisters, wherever you are, this is Bishop Hager, the people's bishop. I'm here to speak the truth and to make sure that Liberia leave that era ignorant and understand what it means for nation building. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Bishop Hagar. Now let's come to you, Mr. C. Ayiti Williams, and please correct me if I said your name wrong. But welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Derek. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on the RRTN network platform, podcast, so to speak. Anything that has to do with Liberia is sure an honor to be a part of it. We believe strongly that our country, the people are placing the pit, and anything we can do to inform our people, and that will increase the quality or improve the quality of the lives of our people. That's something we would like to be a part of. So thank you again for having me, and I hope we'll have a pretty good exchange tonight.
Thank you very much. This is a debut episode and season, so again, it's a pleasure to have you here, Mr. Williams. Now let's move on to Prince Sharif under the Palava Hut. Welcome to another episode. Welcome to episode 1, season 6 of the Horizon.
Thank you so much, Derek, for the opportunity. And let me say hello to the panelists and to our audience. I also want to say, my people, your hello. But for us, we see this as an opportunity to use this platform in order for us to be able to disseminate information out there to our people. But personally, it is a sad day for us, especially the news that is coming out of Liberia, where the government have now turned into a janjaweed kind of, I don't know, gang of people who will do everything to silence the voice of people who are using the constitution to be able to, voice out their own dissatisfaction, like what we witnessed today at the ministerial complex. So it is a good day that we are here to throw light on these things. But personally, we are sad because Liberia is gradually turning into a banana republic under Joseph Newman Boyka. But we are here, and thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Prince Sharif. Liberia is officially turning into a banana republic. I'll get back to you later on. I'll get back to you on that later on in the show. But let's come to you now, Councillor Stephen Freeman. Welcome to the show, and it's good to have you here again. Welcome to episode 1, season 6.
Thank you for having me, Derek. I think it's good to be back after a month or two. I look forward to all of the discussion from all of the panelists.
Thank you very much. And guys, we have a whole lot to talk about. It's the first episode here, so we will do an open panel discussion. So you're free to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about happening in Liberia and the diaspora. But we'll have to take a short break because we have a special guest here tonight, the newly elected officials of the Unions of Liberia Associations in the Americas. So they will be joining us. We'll have our production team put it on the screen, and we'll talk briefly about ULATs, and then we will get back into our discussion for the night. So with that being said, let's introduce the president and vice president elect of the unions of Liberia Associations in the Americas, Mr. Mohammed Keita, national president of ULAT. Welcome to the show again. Congratulations on your elections as ULAT president.
Thank you.
I'm sure the vice president will be joined up. But again, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm here.
Yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, LRTN. We appreciate you much. You're always there from the beginning, the struggle time and whatnot. And this is something that our president was talking about the other day. It is about time Liberians do their own thing. Once it's a Liberian doing the thing, it will all remain there forever. And we appreciate LRTN coming on. You are there for us in the diaspora and in Liberia as well. Thank you. And we appreciate you all. Thanks a lot for having us here tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, President Keita. And guys, by way of introduction, the Unions of Liberia Associations in the Americas is the umbrella organization for all Liberian organizations and affiliations in the Americas. So again, it's good to have you here. And this is how this is going to work. We will go around and ask each panelist if they have a question or comment to the president, and we will give the president the opportunity to answer the questions or comments made. I would like to start the ball rolling, and I know you had a very difficult few months, especially electing a new president. And I just want to ask, how did Eula overcome the challenges and today they have a new president? And what is your how you plan to set Eula on the new path and give Eula a new image?
Well, it's very simple, a little bit difficult. If only Liberian will learn that a legal process is a way forward for our unity, believe me, things will be all right. When Eula was taken to court, and we all decided to be calm, not to fight like before we used to do, cursing each other, use all kind of word. We decided for the law to take a course. Whatever time it is, we're all patient indeed to make sure that the law take a stand, to make sure that things are right for every one of us. And it went through, and our brothers that filed a lawsuit, they did it for purpose. And the reason was good. I don't think it was bad thing. And we should not even look at it to say they are wicked, they're bad. No. And they saw it. And the law showed the difference and said, yeah, this is right. This is what we're supposed to do. The election is supposed to take place. And the court gave an order. We had an election, and we won the election. Now, having sit in the seat of my forefather, my brothers in the past, and my sister in the past, in Eula, we're not here to say we revenge. There's nothing like revenge. The only first thing is before we even do anything to open a corridor of reconciliation. Let's reconcile our differences. We don't want to make a mistake in the past. Whatever happened between us, it was for purpose being achieved. We're not taking no advantage to say, oh, we're here to do this, one did this. Now, this is Eula. This is our organization. This is the only organization we have here that help our people home. So we'll make sure we unite everybody. We are one. Nothing will separate us. Liberal fights and nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to start with you, Mr. Williams. If you have any question for President-elect or any comment.
Yeah, you caught me off guard. Maybe I have one question.
I can come back to you if you want. I'm sorry, but
yeah, I'll just go ahead because I know he said something profound. He talked about reconciliation, and as far as Yola, I know Yola has been around for a while, and just like you alluded to, the Yola is pretty much the umbrella, I guess, mother's organization for all of the smaller Liberian organizations that we have. And Mr. President, what you talked about reconciliation. How do you intend to reconcile? What means and method are you going to use to actually reconcile the differences of our people?
All right, thank you so much, and I like the way you address me. Our original, the host, we are not president-elect no more. We've been inducted into office. It passed already, so we are fully in charge.
I apologize for that, Mr.
Thank you so much. The first thing that we start with is to shake hands. That's the Liberian way. It's a visitation. Anything we'll do, we're not going to leave anybody out. We'll make sure everybody part of it, no matter what. We shake each other's hand. I can visit your house. I sit there. Your wife cook the food. We eat together. It's a Liberian way. That's how we do things. I'm not even writing too much a letter to say we're writing each other this or no. I will even call it, I'm coming to your house. We use our traditional means to do things for ourselves. And one thing is certain, which some of us, when kids back home, high school, they want to place in Liberia that we miss today. I hope what Eula is about to do, we exemplify the same thing back home. If I wronged you, I have the time to apologize and tell you, my brother, I'm sorry I wronged you. and we're going to do that. Those are some of the things we intend to do. If I wronged you, I'm sorry. So that's the best thing and the first thing we'll do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bishop Hagan, let's hear from you to President Keita.
Keita, congratulations for deciding to avail yourself for the Liberian people. It is not an easy responsibility. And I know serving as secretary to the Liberian Ministerial Alliance in America, I know how difficult it is to bring people with different opinion interests together to form an umbrella organization. So that way, we really want to appreciate you for availing yourself and putting together your own resources to make sure that Liberians are united and working towards the common good. For me, I don't have any question, but I just want to remind you or inform you when Ambassador Jeremiah Solonte was ambassador, we had a symposium with him in Philadelphia, and he promised you're going to work to make sure that Philadelphia has a consulate for Liberians or those of us who have dual citizenship. We have to go to Liberia for visa. Either we go to Washington, D.C. or New York. So I want to ask you, will you please help us so that Philadelphia, which is the epic center of Liberians in the East Coast, becomes a consulate where visa application can be processed. I want to seriously appeal to you, please, on behalf of the Ministerial Alliance, we want to appeal to your office to do that for us. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We will do that. We'll get in touch with the president of the chapter, Honorable Siyondin Kofa, one of the wonderful leaders within our community, a strong woman who is there for Liberia. Indeed, if we reach to her, definitely we'll try to do something. Same thing happening for, Georgia right now, Minnesota, everybody finding something, at least to get counseling near us. I'm in New York here, so it's right inside my bedroom. I will really appreciate it for you to be in your bedroom too. So I promise we'll try to look into that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's hear from you, Mr. Sheriff.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for, again, this opportunity. Let me say hi to the Honorable President, Honorable Keita, and congratulations on, your successful, let's say, adjudication, especially using the legal means that finally you have trashed whatever that was happening. So I want to say congratulations, and I like the statement that this is a win for all of us as Liberians. But I am going to make a statement, and you can choose to react, or probably the question is going to be in the statement. YOLA, as an organization that is responsible for Liberians in the diaspora, especially here in the USA, Liberians here have not really had a kind of great time with YOLA as it relates to YOLA own involvement into, some pressing issues within the Liberian communities. We see that YOLA is more or like kind of bit, somebody would say, restricted when it comes to certain issues. They are not, I might be limited to some extent, but they are not out there, like, seeing YOLA making interventions, a very big intervention in maybe, for example, a court issue as it relates to the Liberian community, or getting, actively involved in, some of these immigrations issue as tend to be corrected. I think that can be corrected by you. But many people will say that they've not seen that particular force from YOLA. And also when you look at YOLA involvement in Liberia, because I know why it is true that this is the mother organization here for Liberians in the diaspora, but you also have a significant role to play in Liberia. And one would say there's not much that have been seen of YOLA in Liberia. So, as a president, now that you have taken over, what are we expecting to see differently from you that we did not see in the past? Because I know to some extent, Yola, and I can say this: the records are there. They've been trying their best, but not to that extent. So, what will you do differently? That your mark will be there, that we will see it, that it will be visible, and not just newspaper publication or press release, or we having meeting on the other side or having party. And that is my question. Thank you, sir.
Well, it's a very good question. Appreciate it much. I've been in Yula for a while. You know, when Liberian asked question, what Yula have done, not much. It kind of really, I don't want to say hurt me, but I do blame ourselves that Liberian asked those kind of questions, what you have done for Liberian. If you look at the history of this organization, first it started with students getting together politically to make sure that our people have the right, our people have the paved way to say, quote unquote, dual party system, where I can have my political party, other people can have it. You are involved in that as well. But you have done a lot. Maybe one thing we're missing, which I will make different for that. And I'll come to tell you that. You have done a lot for Liberian. Let's take, for example, the dual citizenship. Most of our children here born here never had the opportunity to vote in Liberia. Even though they never used to apply it, but when you look at the law of Liberia, once you're not a Liberian, there's certain things you won't do. And we fought by all means to make sure that happened. The dual citizenship, it passed. Today, Liberians can go with their Liberian passport without even going to the consulate to pay $160 for 3, 4, 6 months. You go easily and come back to America or wherever you're from. We did that. During the COVID, you did more than, massively. The only mistake, perhaps, we didn't go to appear ourselves before door to door to say, here, this is Yula, maybe. But Yula have done a lot, and we intend to do more. Some of the things people are looking at, what Yula have. Some people call a cartoon pusher. Thank God, no problem. We push a cartoon to make sure that at least we can feed our people home. We push a cartoon to make sure that LeBron get the right to stay online and vote for the president and leadership they want in the country. There's no war, no fighting. Unlike before, Yula have taken part in a lot of those things. At this moment, we have a land in Liberia where we will build a center, and that center will contain a lot of things, medical. We're also looking into it and make sure we carry doctor and medical, the doctor and some nurses in Liberia to help our people. Not only to go give you injection, not only to go take your pulse, no, to go there and train our brothers and sisters to be a medical doctor. Some of will volunteer to go even teach at the University of Liberia and whatnot. There's so many things Yula have done. Yula done a lot. If you see the money we sent to Liberia compared to other countries, quite different. Go today, see how many Liberians building that country. The president came here, he said something, it touched me. He said when the foreigner reach in our home, they will go there and carry their little company there. They say they will build a road. They try and get $1 or $2 to some of our people. They forget about that. That company stayed there for more than 30, 40 years, it disappeared. What do you see? Nothing. Look at Lamco. Lamco went to my home. There's nothing there today. They left everything random, live useless. You can't do anything with it. If Liberian handle those kind of company and build a nation, it's not going anywhere. Whatever be the case, it's your country. It will stay there. It will never go anywhere. So Yula is trying by all means to make sure Liberian go and build Liberia. Like I said before, no amount of force from outside Liberia will help us beside ourselves. And the origin of Liberian peace, it comes from right here in the diaspora. If you don't believe it, check the history. And we make sure for that to happen. So Yula have done more. And this time around, you will see something good, different. and that is we try to bring at least diaspora bank to compete with those companies that are there that do transfer of money. You can stay and transfer your money through diaspora Liberia bank. If everything goes well, you don't have to go to Sandwave no more. You come through us. That's yours. And the Liberia government will gain more from that. So there are more to say. I don't want to take your time because I have another meeting. 20 minutes now. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Before I go to the next panelist for their question or comment, let me recognize the presence of ULAD's Vice President, Mrs. Emmanuel Nangbe. Welcome to the show, Mrs. Nangbe.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Can you adjust the camera a little bit because we can only see? Yes.
Can you see me now?
Yes, it's much better. Thank you. Let's also recognize the presence of Bishop Reeves, and then after your introduction, we'll go over to you, Mr. Boda, for your question or comment. And guys, you can direct your question to either the president or the vice president. Mr. Bishop Reeves, welcome to the show. You're on mute.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and we're looking forward to all the interactions.
It's good to have you too, Bishop Reeves. Well, let's hear from Mr. Boda with his question or comment to the president or vice president of ULAD. Mr. Boda, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I want to say congratulations to the newly called officers for ULA, and I want to encourage you for your opening statement. I mean, you talk about reconciliation, and that is key to me when we talk about our Liberian community. We need to reconcile our community and ourselves and the larger society. I know you list a laundry list of stuff that you were just going through, but often we diaspora Liberians have complained that we are not being utilized in our society, or we have this stigma where we versus them. I hope that your leadership will try to tap into our Liberian brain here, the professional Liberians, so that we can set ourselves aside, because we have to shift the narrative. It started with us and it has to end with us, because there's a lot that we have to give back to our people. We have the opportunity, we have the exposure, we have the education, and a lot of our brothers and sisters do not have that exposure and opportunity that we have to come over here. And I hope that your leadership will be able to encourage and tap into the professional Liberians in the Liberian community so that we can unite and be a force. I don't just want it to be a lip service, because let us unite in the sense that we can show leadership, not just political because we want to show that I can talk more or I have this talking point I can talk on and so forth. Let us have a meaningful dialogue. Let us have a national conference that we can really sit down and talk about the issue that affect our society and come up with solutions, because we have the solution to many of the problems. We have the contact, we have the resources that we can take to our people. And so that we can just stop going back home every time running for jobs. Every time there's a government, like one professional running here with the suitcases, they got 5 PhD, I got masters, I was making 6 figure and so forth and whatnot. And you're making 6 figure here, but yeah, you want to go to Liberia and then 1 figure. I don't know how that. So I hope that your leadership will tap and have some conferences that will be able to attract all of our Liberians here so that we can discuss the issues and look in one another's eyes and say ourselves the truth so that we can help build our country, not deceive our people, lie to our people, and come up with all these stories that can never end. So that's just my advice, my brother. I hope that your leadership can tap into these ideas and suggestions so that you can have some meaningful conferences. Thank you for.
Thank you, Mr. Boda. Before Mr. President or Vice President take a chance to respond to that, let me just remind you guys we're almost out of time for this interview. So if you guys can shorten your questions, and also Mr. President, Vice President, if you guys can shorten your answers to the questions, so we can have more time to get the other panelists' question But if you guys would like to respond to Mr. Bodat, I'll give you guys the opportunity, Mrs. Vice President and Mr. President. I'm sorry.
Mr. President, would you like me to go on that one?
No, you go ahead. That one is too heavy for me.
Thank you, Jennifer, for having us again, sir. We appreciate that statement and that thought process. We are going to definitely take into advisement. However, this is what we have been doing over the past 30 days. We have organized a secretariat that is collecting a database of all professional Liberians in the diaspora. We are also initiating, along with the government of Liberia, other Liberians in the diaspora. We are in, I just saw my picture. We are initiating the process to see what we can have a diaspora forum. So, and what you described there, where we all sit down and have a real conversation on how to move Liberia forward, is on the map. And I hope at that point when we call you, you can also be a part of it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's hear from you, Councillor Freeman, and then we'll take your question and Bishop Ruth's question together. Councillor Freeman.
And I mean, to be quite honest, I don't know anything about Yula. And I have been living in the US for over almost 20 years now. Wow. Make no mistake, I've heard the name Yula over those years. But what I mean by that is that Yula has been dormant, almost non-existent. Now, you said, Mr. President, you would need me a laundry list of several things that your organization has done over the years. But it seems to me that your organization has not done a good job actually marketing itself to the Liberian community. I live in California. I went to law school in Michigan. I'm now living in Maryland, Washington, D.C. area. I remember a few years ago, Liberians were facing threats of deportation, several Liberians. And Bishop Darlington Johnson Church held some forum where Liberians came together and lawyers and policymakers were invited. Yula was not represented. Maybe you may have spoken about it in private, but several of the other panelists' positions thus far, I think it is important for Yula to be seen, to be present. Hopefully, your organization moving forward is going to do a good job marketing itself. So I must say congratulations to both of you. My hope is that we will see a new Yula as an organization. I understand there was an ongoing litigation process where, my friend from Philadelphia, colleague, was one of the counsel on that case. I'm glad it has resolved for the betterment of the entire Liberian community. Moving forward, my hope is that the organization is going to do a better job marketing itself to the community, so that those of us who are not very much out in the community, we can see Yula and say, look, that is something that I want to be a part of. So
thank you, Council. If I piggyback off my president, a couple of things happening here. Yula has not been visible, but it have not been visible enough, right? So we had the 1990 war. A couple of you guys are younger. So the issues of the advocacy or how we got all these people to see Liberia in wartime and help us, Yula was a part of it. Now, the new Yula we're talking about, you are a young lawyer. We need a group of lawyers who will sit down with us professionally and review our constitution and our workflow process. The new Yula has to be reflective of what we're doing now. The constitution we're using, it has been revised here and there, but it has to be reflective. Bringing you on board, and many young people who have many brilliant ideas will do that. How do we do that? We do that by being inclusive. Yula is a chapter organization. However, increasing that number of chapters that really reflect the number of diasporans in the diaspora is important to us. How do we do that? Ensure that for instance, all the states are represented. All the big county organizations must have representation. all the big alumni association that put a lot of time and money into development Liberia, we bring them on board. So when we come and say we're speaking for EULA, we are actually speaking for the diaspora Liberians, and not just 20 out of 50 states. And that is a process. And if we believe if we do that, we will actually help to make EULA more visible, more attractive, make you want to come and volunteer your services, make you want to come, like your colleague who was one of the lawyers on the other side, bring you guys together and say, take our constitution, review it. Is this reflective of what we should be doing now? So that 10 years from now, we don't have to go to court because our constitution is vague. So yes, it's a process, and we appreciate all of you guys and all hands on deck. We will be calling you. We need you. We need all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let's get our last question from you. Want to go ahead? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me touch a little bit about EULA not being mad or something like that. And I told a lot of Liberian, if you don't try to be part of anything, you will never know what that thing is doing. EULA have been there for Liberian. The church you're talking about, maybe you're in California. We have 2 chapters there, very strong chapter. I think maybe you know Bindu Hunter. She is a chair lady of the LA chapter, and all those chapters are there. And Liberian tried to pass for this. I'm one of those that walk to the right to the Capitol building, right in Washington D.C., Liberian. Text me or email. I will forward you some of those things so you know what you have done. I'm not here to argue, and I somehow, if you say you have not done anything, I won't blame you. Perhaps I was visible to somebody to have been doing, but come home, no matter what. There's a Liberian that here in New York. He lived in this country for more than 45 years. When we fought, by all means, for the how do you say DED, he didn't have a green card. He told people he was a citizen. These are some of the two Ben facing. He told people he was a citizen. He refused to even join any organization. We got one of the strong organizations right in New York here. He refused. 40 years. They went have a house or something like that. One time came for deportation. That man knocked my door 3 o'clock in the morning. He was scared to come outside. And the next day I told him, wait. The next day, I make sure we call the lawyer to talk to him. And under the law, as long as you reach in America 2015, you're eligible, except you commit crime, felony, you won't. But if you're not, you can get a green card. Today, that brother had a green card. Some of our brother here more than 50 years don't have it. But because of EULA intervention, that one made the DED to pass for the other project to the other one. So my brother, please, I want your full information. Your chapter is in California. Join them. Don't stay away. You are a counselor right now. EULA looking for trying to get a lawyer. Perhaps you can be our lawyer for EULA. We have one. You can join it to be 2. Just in case we have a legal tussle so you can come and help us. But I appreciate your comment. Thank you.
Mr. Ted, I live in the Maryland, Washington, D.C. area.
Yeah, no one say. Okay. Yeah, Maryland.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, let's hear from Bishop Reeves. Bishop Reeves, your question.
Yeah, before Bishop Reeves comes in, I also want us to know that we have asked the Liberian Radio and Television Network that they are going to be our lead network. Since our election, this is our first time having any engagement with a network. So we are hoping that our collaboration with this network will also expand our views out there. It will send it out there. So we're moving. Thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge that, Mr. President.
So if you're watching us right now, if you want to hear from EULA, make sure you're following LRTN. Thank you very much. Bishop Reeves.
Yep.
Let's hear from you, Bishop Reeves. You're muted.
Thank you for the opportunity. I just need to find out, does EULA have a website? Do they have a Facebook page? Do they have are they on YouTube? Are they on social media? I'm only asking these questions because I share similar sentiments with Councilor Freeman. I live in the Maryland area, and I've been there for over the 20 some more years. Right now, area I'm back and forth, but I've heard of EULA. I know people in that talk about EULA, but it has not been visible enough. Yes, and we need you all to come up with strategies that will help EULA to be visible enough. And I want you all to know that we're in a cross-culture place, a nation, and yes, we're all Liberians, but we all need to be sensitive to the different cultures, the different upbringing, because there are a lot of Liberians who uh, were born in America and they're trying to tie their roots back to Liberia. So of course, there are certain kind of cultures, Liberian culture, they might not have, So how do we reach out to that group of people? How do we reach out to the young ones? How do we reach out to the old ones? You know, and I'm not asking these questions or saying these things to make you sit here and defend yourself, for no reason. I just want us to take note of that, and let's see how we can move forward in getting EULA a little more visible. Okay. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, to ask, is that, or suggest, can we suggest that EULA, if you're already doing it, and that's fine. Um, I don't know if we can have a program or put something together that will encourage Liberians to move more into the private sector in Liberia. We need more Liberians in a private sector. And I tell all of you on this platform, Liberia issues can be addressed and can really be dealt with by the diaspora Liberians, those who are in the diaspora. You send a lot of money back there. There are different things that you do back there. But how can we consolidate all of what we're doing so that it can become more effective? Liberians need to move more into the private sector. Let me tell you something. Money talks. When we can move into private sector and we can have Liberians who are making enough money, there is no government that comes into power that will not want to talk to you. They have to talk to you because you make money. They will have to talk to you because you're strong financially. So it's just an encouragement to all of us that we need to look at, and if EULA can have a program that will help us, that would be very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. That's all of the questions we have for you, Mrs. Vice President and Mr. President. So I would like to give Mrs. Vice President, Mrs. Nagbe, the opportunity to close on this interview, and then also you right after Mr. A.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having us. It has been a pleasure. I had some difficulties getting on and off. I have a password on my laptop and I forgot, so I had to switch another laptop. I apologize for that. But Bishop Reeves, your last statement is very very resonant to us. We are hoping to continue to be visible. There's a lot we'll do, and I'm pretty sure we'll come back here to give you guys more details on how to invite you guys to these forums. We do have a committee called Diaspora Initiative Affairs, and we try to put that committee together that will invite people. So if we, for instance, we have identified projects. Let's say the project is $1 million. It's difficult for one of us to produce $1 million, but 10 of us can produce $100,000 each and be effective. For us to do that, we have to be at the same table, understand the process, understand the banking rules, understand our insurances and all of that. We all of us on this line, including all of you, including myself, we all have very different, beautiful ideas. The struggle is how we bring it together and make my mama Liberia superior. And that is our goal. We intend to use this medium to expand our conversation, to bring more Liberians together. Hopefully from now to September, instead of telling you we have 20 active chapters, we hope to be telling you we have 50 active chapters. We have 60. This is our membership. So when we speak for the Liberian diasporan Liberians in a collective nature. Again, thank you, and all your feedback is well taken, and we'll take it to our executive meeting and expand on it. And some of you guys will be called personally to give us expanded feedback. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nangbe. Let's hear from you, Mr. Keita.
Thank you so much, my brothers. We appreciate you to bring out tonight. Just want to let them know that please don't send information. Yes, Yula have website. Yes, Yula have Facebook. Yes, Yula have chat room. We have it there and whatnot. We'll try to furnish most of the information, try to make ourselves visible. We want to let you know that we'll be having a convention in September. Please don't just come. You'll really enjoy. You'll see how Yula looks like. This is your home, and we will have a very good program. That will be the 50th anniversary of Yula. 50. Some of you maybe were not even 50 yet. So come that time, and we'll try to invite people to come to the program. And we appreciate if you take our telephone number down, call us. We'll give you some of the information and wanted to invite you. But we're on the right track. Yula is your organization. This is us. It is only Liberian can make it right. No outsider can fix our home. Only we can fix it. And I thank you so much tonight. Every question you asked, every commentary tonight was the best for us. And we'll learn from what you said. And we'll use that to make sure we'll correct some of the mistakes we made in the past. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohamed Keita and Mr. Emmanuel Nangwe, President and Vice President, respectively of the Unions of Liberia Associations here in the Americas. It was a pleasure having you guys on here to do an interview and talk about Yula. And to all of you panelists, thank you for your contribution as well. That's all of the time we have for this interview. We will, again, like we do for all of our guests, we will give you the opportunity to stay, but your excuse if you choose to leave for other things.
Okay. Thank you.
With that being said, guys, then stay with us. We're getting right back into our show, but before we do that, we will take a very brief break, and when we come back, we will get into our open panel discussions on issues in Liberia and the diaspora. Again, this is the Hot Zone. We will be right back.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool, and that's where Tiamat.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from that institution. That means not having a website could be costing you opportunities. Step up your game and establish a professional online presence. Introducing our web platform, designed specifically for 501c organizations, small businesses, and political organizations, social clubs, etc. At Tiamat.com, we understand how important it is to make a great digital first impression, which is why we offer you all the help needed to develop, maintain, and host NGOs and small and big organization websites by giving you a full suite of services that includes automatic billing for members, membership and visitor portals, first-class design and functionality, and much more. The best part is, it only costs $20 per month. Upgrade your image today with our customized web design services. Visit www.tiamat.com to get started. This is a Liberian-owned business.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching us from. This is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. You're here watching episode 1, season 6 of The Hot Zone. You know, here on the House is an opinion-based talk show where we feature a team of panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasion. And just by way of disclaimer, all of the positions and opinions that will be offered on this podcast is that of the individual panelists that will be offering them, and not the official position of this network. With that being said, guys, before the break, we plan to have an open panel discussions. So as such, I will introduce our topic, but you guys have whatever interests you guys this week or prior week in Liberia and the diaspora. With what's going on in Liberia, as I mentioned, our current event, President Bwaka ended in day one of the cabinet retreat, where he urged his cabinet ministers to forget about title and focus on doing diligent work for the Liberian people. And a few days ago, we also saw that he met with importers of rice in Liberia, where he told the Liberian people that the prices of rice will not be increasing. So those are some of the current events. But again, it's an open panel discussion. So feel free to talk about whatever interests you in Liberia this week or weeks prior. I'd like to start with you, Mr. Boda, and let's get the ball rolling.
You know, this issue of rice. I've been our story from when some of us were a little child growing up and up to the adulthood at this point. And this seems to be like an old song, beating a dead horse. I think there's a lot more that the Liberian government can do and the Liberian can do to alleviate themselves from the stigma of rice starvation and whatever you want to call it. And I'm glad that we currently have a leader who has some understanding. He been in the industry for a while, in the agriculture industry, who I think should understand some of the ramifications of what we're going through right now. And it will serve our best if we Liberians can engage in our soil and do better instead of just sitting back and whining and complaining and go through the same process. Oh, beggar, we're going to $18. But the rescue team, I will hope that I'm a little bit, I don't know why some of the inside working in terms of agriculture for the immediate term right now. But I was thinking that they will have some money placed in the budget to start some immediate actions. I remember I was not doing back in the day, there were a lot of farming, they used to call it communal farming and so forth going on in Liberia across the country. I was hoping that Mr. Walker was going to invest some money for short-term investment in some of our crops, cash crop that we eat, rice, edible, all this stuff, so that we can have some agriculture fair maybe between now and September or October, since we're talking about agriculture, but I haven't heard anything of that sort. And then we're still talking about rice, importation, and so forth. But I'm glad that he was able to step in to talk to the business community, have some dialogue to see how they can resolve some of the issues regarding stabilizing the price of our stable food for our people. So it's a healthy discussion.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Oda. You made a lot of key points. I will get back to you with questions on your position on the rice issues. And guys, just to remind you, we have a lot of panelists here tonight, so I'll put on the timer for 1 minute 45 seconds for each panelist contributions, so we can be able to have a conversation where everybody's positions will be made and heard. With that being said, I would like to come to you, Councillor Freeman. What's your take on issues in Liberia or the diaspora?
Derrick, we have on this very show had discussions pertaining to some early promises of President Bwaka. I think, in my mind, the bedrock, the foundation of a lot of the things we see ongoing in Liberia today is the lack of rule of law. I would like to see the president exhibit the political will to begin a process of holding members of the previous administration accountable, members of his administration accountable as well. And that begins with some of the little things that he can start doing. So, for example, Mr. Walker, I was one of those people that he actually told me face to face in his home that I would declare my asset, I would make sure my officials declare their asset. And today's date, something as simple as that has not been done. I'm disappointed. I'm hoping that, he does the right thing. I'm hoping that maybe in the next few months, he begin the process of setting a framework for war crimes court, setting a framework to hold corrupt officials accountable. Those are the things that I'm looking to see the president, tackle. And every other thing I think will fall in place eventually.
You like to see
There
your
you
Liberia? Oh, thank you very much, Councilor Freeman. You talked about you would like to see a Liberia where the rule of law will be respected, and also President Boaka must do something to hold government officials from the previous administration accountable for their deeds. I have a question on that, but I'd like to hear from the other panelists first before coming back to you. Let's go on to you, Mr. Williams. I just like to, if you can give your position on this or comment on this. President Boaka, when he was first inaugurated, he made a promise that in his first 100 days, he will ensure that no cars will get stuck in the mud after the first 100 days. Now, just looking at where Liberia is right now, do you think the president has delivered on his promises? What do you think has prevented him, if not? And just give us your take. What can he do at this point, Mr. Williams?
Thank you very much, Derek, for that question, and I'm gonna try to be as succinct as possible, to respond to that question. I try to stay away from politics as much as possible. I think a lot of the promises that President Boakai made, those promises were pretty much all politics, all gimmick, because it's pretty much impossible to have, considering the road conditions in Liberia. I mean, just speaking from construction and civil engineering background, I think it's relatively impossible to have a country, for roads in Liberia, the roads are measured in kilometers as opposed to the United States where we have miles. And not knowing the condition of the roads, to have to just up and make those statements, I think they were very deceptive to our people. The fact remains here, President Barker been around in terms of government, he's been around for a little over 40 years. So you would think that he would already have a strategic plan put in place, when it comes to our road condition, how to improve our road condition, things like that, because the road play a vital role. So I think not doing feasibility studies, not actually aligning himself with the right team of professionals to investigate these road conditions and to comment to the general public and make those assessments. I think that's just complete deception to citizens, and it's relatively impossible to have roles of such condition, to be pliable or accessible and made accessible to the general public. I think it's just deception.
Thank you very much, Mr. Williams. You mentioned you have a background in civil engineering, so you will have expert opinion on that subject. You said the president of Liberia, to see Liberian people are saying that he will ensure that no car will get stuck in the mud without doing any prior condition of the roads. I'll come back to you on those points, but let's hear from Mr. Sheriff. Mr. Sheriff, give us your take.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, what I'm seeing in Liberia under the leadership of Joseph Nyuma Boyka, is a complete disaster. As we speak, the government is yet to be totally, formulated up to now. Since the government took over, we do not even have a functional government. When you look at the composition of the government, you will see that those people that Mr. Boyka said on Scar TV that they were people who were interested in presenting PowerPoint presentation, collecting money, and bringing it back to their family, are the same old people that he brought on board. When we look at the information arm of this government, it appears to be more disjointed than even a ghetto organization, where you will find the secretary to the president's office, the press secretary, will come and tell you one thing about the president travel, and then you will have the political leader in the office of the president, Madela Kupo, will come and tell you another thing about a jet, and then you will have the information minister telling you another thing. So it seems as if, as far as we are concerned under this government, as it relates to information, it is completely chaotic. It's completely chaotic. Like we saw quite recently, I think yesterday or so, with the pronouncement coming from the government on the issue of the rice, from the man who is responsible to inform us about commerce, the commerce minister, Ami Moda. He came up and said one thing, and today Mr. Boyka is saying another thing. And when you read the communication from the Ministry of Commerce, it's saying another thing also. So where are we? Where are we as it relates to protecting the rights of people to be able to disagree with government through what is given to them by the Constitution as their right to be able to assemble and call on their government? As I speak to you today, we saw what happened at the ministerial complex. People are in jail now. So, these are some of the things that are going on. But we'll stop here because of time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sheriff, to refer to this administration as a complete disastrous, non-functional government. I would like to come back to you, Mr. Boda. Actually, let me hear from Bishop Reeves first. I apologize. Let me get your take, then we'll come back to Mr. Boda, because a lot of things has been said that that's contrary to his earlier position. But Bishop Reeves, give us your take.
Well, talking about the rice issue, I was just disappointed the other day when I saw the people who came in to meet with the president. I saw a bunch of Lebanese and other people. I didn't see Liberians. I mean, this is our staple food. Uh, we're supposed to be part of deciding how food come into our country. And instead of me seeing Liberians, I saw a lot of bunch of Lebanese and other people. I was very disappointed when I saw that. And I think all of us need to pay attention. And looking at the rice issue that caught my attention as also, I think we need to start running campaign to talk about our own Liberian rice, which is healthier than any other rice that is imported into the country. It builds your immune system. It has a lot of fiber in it. We need to come together and talk about our own rights so that I believe in prevention. Prevention is better than cure. So just talking about just rights, because there are other things we can talk about, but I think we need to start focusing on how can we promote the Liberian rights and how can Liberians get more involved, even in the import of rights for now. How can Liberians get involved instead of just leaving everything to
Thank you.
the foreigners?
Thank you, Bishop Reeves.
Thank you.
Yes, let me come back to you, Mr. Boda. Bishop Reeves also talked about spoke on this rice issue, and he pretty much said there are foreigners importing rice. Why no Liberian? We saw the picture of President Bouaka meeting with those rice importers, and no one there seems like Liberian. But earlier you said, Mr. Boda, that thankfully the president of Liberia has a lot of experience in this sector, and then later on you went to say, why isn't he doing this? Why isn't he doing that? Why isn't he doing this? And we have the current situation on ground. You heard from all of the other panelists. It doesn't seem like President Bouaka is doing so well in a lot of sectors, including the issue on the issues of the rights. What do you say to that? How do you kind of connect his experience with how poorly we are doing in those sectors, Mr. Boda? You're on mute.
The issue with rice in Liberia, government have constantly tried to I'm sorry. Government have constantly tried to just have a temporary solution. I try to just water down, things for a moment. And that's not the solution to our problem. We need to have a sustainable solution. That is, we need to go back to our soil. Like back in the day, Tower has the revamped agriculture program in Liberia, where you had all the different sectors. You had the BCADP, NCADP, SCADP, and so forth. And Liberia are getting very self-sufficient in producing local produced rice that were competing with the importation of rice on the market. And currently, we don't have that. And one disappointing factor is we got people who are agriculturalists in our country producing. Liberian farmers are not taking the strong initiative to advocate for government to get them the support they need. And they has, like somebody has taken away their position, like the Lebanese and other business venture coming in and just hijacking the system and monopolize their space. And that which is troubling for me, because talking about rice, people learning somebody going to negotiate to produce price, you cannot control things that you don't have, you don't produce. There's a lot involved with trade, the demand and supply. So we have to be careful. And all of these things have to do ourselves. We have to take some strong measures. That is, government needs to start to invest into the agriculture sector heavily. Like I was saying, we have to start some pilot program to do some other stuff. And on the other side, my brother talking about the government is chaotic. If people are going to retreat, I think let us be a little bit civil to one another. Government having retreat so that they can address issues. I don't think that's where people should go protest. This is not,
I would like to hold you on that point. I'm sorry to interrupt. Is the cabinet retreat an indication that this government is doing well, or is it like an alarm that things are not going well, so they need to talk?
Well, there's two forces here. So one thing here is having a retreat. Government, every institution needs to have some check and balance. So it's a healthy thing. If the government having a retreat, I think it should be a sign of applause, because that's where you go to see your flaw, what you're doing well and what you're not doing well, and how you can recalibrate and readjust some of your plans, some of your plan of actions. So it's nothing wrong with having a retreat. Not that you're doing well. It's good. If you're doing bad and you're having a retreat, that means you're listening to what the people are saying. If you don't have a retreat and you're not doing anything about it, then you're not listening. So I think it's a healthy thing that government, Mr. Bouaka is doing. If he having retreat with his cabinet ministers, that means he's hearing things around, and there are things that happen. And he needs to conscience his people to get focused and do the Liberian business.
Thank you, Mr. Boda. Now let me come back to you, Prince, Mr. Sherry. Now I want you to address, first of all, on Mr. Boda comment on the retreat being a good or bad thing for Liberia or Liberia, and also to Mr. William Point. I mean, he said he believes, based on his background, that the president of Liberia deceived the Liberian people when he made that 100-day promise that no car would get stuck in the mud, and also to Councillor Freeman when he said he feels like the government is not doing well when it comes to respecting the rule of law, and he also feel like the government, if they want to show seriousness to lead, they should start by holding previous administration officials or government officials from the previous government accountable for their actions while in government. What is your position on those opinions offered by the other panelists? You're on mute.
All right, so let me start from, I'm sorry, let me start from Councillor Freeman's own assertion. I agree with him 100% that we must hold people or public official accountable. I agree 100%. No doubting that. But when it is done in a kind of wishful manner, then is where the alarm is raised. The CDC government was not the first government after the war. We had previous government for 12 years. So these things, if you want to go into it and you want to hold people accountable, let it be from the very beginning. But what we are seeing, like he said, is disheartening for us to see the Unity Party under Joseph Numa Boyka, a man who quote unquote have all of these experience, to start like this. You know what happened with this 10-year position, to the extent that the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia will have to come, which was a great minus on his part, to come and tell him, say, no, Omecha breaks more. You got to take time. Even with all that communication from the Supreme Court, Mr. Boyka felt that you're too smart. He bypassing the Supreme Court and doing another thing. So I do agree with Councillor Freeman. Now, as it relates to the retreat, the reason for which retreats are called, so like like he said rightly, is to review, to see what is going on. But from this particular retreat is a clear indication that the reason for which this retreat is called is because the government has dismally performed. It's because they themselves are seeing it. Look, the people who are or who will be affected from the decisions that will be made in those retreats, that me and you, that the people were in Genuine, in Grand Cape Mount, that the people that is all the way there in Bokonjire. So the people themselves, they don't need to go to retreat to know whether this government is performing or not. You don't even need to be somebody who graduated from law school or Harvard University to know whether this government is performing. In less than 6 months, look at the prices of basic commodity on the Liberian market. Everything we're in Kosu and Neta. Look at what is happening, for example, with the motorcyclists on the street. You tell the motorcyclists that they must obey the law, but you tell the traffic, how you call a taxi driver to break the law. All of us know in Liberia that 3 to the back, 1 to the front, so that they can have the seat belt that will serve at least as a kind of maybe safety mechanism for them in terms of accident. But do you know what is happening now? The people who driving the taxi now, they're taking 4 to the back. Is that not breaking the law? But you telling the motorcyclists, because I didn't want you able, that young people, you move on the road, you're not safe, you will obey. But you telling taxi driver and say you can go ahead and do your own thing. That's what I'm saying. That this particular government, is I don't know, but that Janjaweed Republic we're operating in with Joseph Numa Boykasu.
Thank you very much, Councillor, not Councillor Freeman, but Mr. Sheriff. Let me come to you, Bishop Reeves. I want you to address Mr. Williams' comment on this government pretty much deceiving the Liberian people by making a promise that they will ensure that no car will get stuck in the mud in 100 days. And also, Mr. Sheriff comment earlier when he responded to Councillor Freeman positions on the government holding people accountable from the previous administration. My question on that, don't you think it's a little unreasonable for Mr. Sheriff to say that the government should start from the beginning, where one would think it was the previous administration responsibility to hold the administration before them accountable? I want your position. I want your position on those two opinions from our panelists.
Okay, so it's important to know that government should be continuity. Okay, so we have to build up from what the previous government did to improve on. That's what's supposed to be. Unfortunately, that's not what's happening in Africa, right? And so, if looking at the previous government, what the previous government did, and look at what's going on right now, uh, I can tell anybody right now that Mr. Boyka is not doing bad. Okay, there, then he needs to get a lot of things in order, but just from the way I see them start, I don't think he's doing bad. There are a lot of players that's playing. You got people within his own government playing. You got people who are collaborators playing. You got people in the diaspora playing. Then you got opposition playing. There's a lot of play going on. All right. So yes, the boat is going to rock for a little bit, but I know that the boat is going to settle. I think it was a very good idea when they came out to tell the motorcyclists to have a safety helmet, to have a jacket, and to have and to insure their bikes, and then have one person on the bike that you can go anywhere. Okay, so now there's no restriction on where your bike can go. If your bike is insured, if your bike is registered, if you have your protective gears on and everything, you don't have any restrictions on where you can go. That is something that is visible that people can see. We used to call them suicide bombers, but I see the police is trying to do something that we did not see in the previous government. So Boyka is not doing bad, and I'm not going to say, I'm not going to talk about his 100 days and all of that. I felt that was political. That was a political statement because there's no way it's going to happen. All of those things you're talking about in 100 days happening. It's not going to happen. I know, I don't want to say we are. I know that it's not going to happen. And I know that was a political stunt.
Thank you.
Right?
But let me
when it's not good, you say it. When it's good, you say it. So we can
I want to hold you to your word, Bishop Reeves. When you say Boyka is not doing bad, are you in turn saying that he's doing good?
If a person is not doing bad, they're doing good. And I just give you an example of what I thought was good. All right. The example was the motorcyclists and the what they're doing now to make us safe on the street. That's a good thing. It doesn't mean that he's doing good everywhere. Because I also said to you that what he said politically, when he said 100 days, this is what they're going to accomplish. I know that that's not going to be possible. So it's not just a straight jacket. Oh, he's doing good. Everything is fine. No, we got to look at it in parts. There are places where some good moves. There are places where they're not doing so well.
So in other words, you're saying he's not doing bad in certain areas. Because when the reason I want to rephrase
he's not doing bad in certain areas. And other areas, they've not straightened up some things yet. We're waiting to see. But some areas, they're not doing so bad.
No, the reason I want to rephrase my question is this, Bishop Reeves. When you said, because you started off by saying President Boyka is not doing bad. That is an overall evaluation. So that's why I want to hold you to your word. Because if your overall evaluation is he's not doing bad, you could have just said he's doing good, because that's the exact opposite of that statement. That's why I want you to say overall. Because
it's not all
let
good.
Let me finish. So overall, his performance so far, would you say he's doing good or he's doing bad? I just want just for the sake of our audience. Are you say he's doing
I,
good?
I will I, I will put it in the middle. I will put it in the middle. It's not so bad, and he's working towards being good because of some of the signs that I see. I see one or two things that I can speak of that I think is a breath of fresh air. But there are other areas that they've
It's,
not done
it,
well
it's,
in. So
it's
I
if
can't just give you.
I'm gonna move on to the
I
next
can,
part of this Bishop Reeves, but if someone doing good, just say they're doing good. There's no way you can be in the middle. Like you're either
yeah, but you asking me for overall.
your statement initially was an overall evaluation. If you said he's not doing bad, you could have just said he's doing good. But I understand you don't want to own up to
Uh,
defend maybe you don't want to own up to defend how you think Boycott is doing good because, like you said, he's in the middle. Before you didn't say he was in the middle. You said
No,
he's
come on now. I'm not being political here. You trying to be political. I'm not being
I'm,
political here.
I'm not being.
I'm just a regular
Derrick,
person
Derrick, let's
who
go. The
sees
man,
some things. Yeah, no. I'm just a regular person who sees something that is good and call it out. Sees something that is not good and call it out.
Thank you.
All right. I'm trying to give you
Let's
I'm
hear.
trying to give Boycott chance to
Mhm.
see how they're gonna go.
Thank you. Let's
So
hear.
if it's good, I call it out. If it's bad, I call it out.
Let's hear from Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, you now Bishop, you said that statement from President Parker was political, but you said regardless, he still deceived the Liberian people because he didn't do studies. Now, I know you said you don't follow Liberian politics like that, but if a leader start off his administration with deceiving his people in the form of political state in political being political, do you think that is a good way to do? And just if you will respond to Bishop Reed's overall evaluation, how do you think the administration is doing so far?
Well, my perspective, I would say that the government is not doing well at all. And the reason why I say this is straightforward. Like I said earlier on, Boca served government for over 40 years. So you would think that he would come to power. I mean, considering the sufferings, the injustices of our people, just the basic needs of our people. Dr. King once said, he said that, just denying a person of uh, the basic social needs taken away is his right. And we think that our people have been deprived of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So overall, I would say my perspective here is that, you know, Borges should have actually come on board already with a strategic plan, strategy to be able. Someone talk about continuity. How is it that this president who been around that long wouldn't even have a strategy come and up to now he's still trying to get his cabinet in place? And these are reasons why I am saying that this government is not doing well at all. You know, that would be my stand. I stand by it.
Thank you. The government, the administration is not doing well. Thank you very much. Let's see that. I want to come up to Mr. Boda, but let me hear from Prince first on this government not doing bad. And I want you heard from Bishop Reeves. He said he doesn't think that the government is not doing bad, but then later on he said overall evaluation, they're kind of in the middle. What is your take on that? How do you think the government is doing so far?
My brother Yala, let's be very frank and be fair with this. And these are some of the reasons why government dismally performed. Because when we, the people who are supposed to critique government, who are supposed to hold government feet to the fire, when we try to use grammar, English, and to deceive the common people, what I'm seeing here, with no disrespect, but I'm seeing deception. Nobody can be good and be bad at the same time. Not possible. During the course of the time, behavior can change. I do agree. Nobody is fixed. People can change. We are human. We are dynamic. A government can also change. At a certain point in time, you can decimally perform, but along the way, you can improve. So for me, I see this, let's start using English here to play with people emotion here. Look, government are doing good. The government are doing good. Let's say the thing here. You telling me government is not doing good and not doing bad? They went to Grand Cape County and they kill our people in less than 1 month under a United Party government. But the government not doing good and not doing bad. In less than 6 months, the rice price has increased. The government not doing good and not doing bad. As I speak to you, you put a policy in place which I agree with, especially for motorcyclists. But let me ask you a question. Do you know, my brother? You know, my brother Derrick. Where play in Liberia, you're supposed to drive 45 kilometers per hour. You know the play. You not see sign. Where you know that there is a school zone. And only when you hear bell sound, in America here, we can see sample. We can see what we call different sounds that will tell you, say they play that school zone. Slow down, Mr. Driver. They play that church zone. Slow down. All of these things are not put in place yet. I am not against the safety measure that have been put in place, but what I'm against is the way, the form and manner in which it's being used. So, in short, what I'm saying is that, look, let's be sincere. If we want for Joseph Numa Breaker government to do well, it will do well. But from the way we're starting, especially, coming from the bishop, we need to be straight because, look, we are looking up to the church, especially people like you, to hold this government feet to the fire. And that's why some of us, we are taken aback when we see people who are supposed to be the mediator between God and man, holding government position. Then what we will do now?
Thank you very much, Mr.
So government must be bad. So you got to say, hey, yeah, ready?
Prince, I would think you should tread very, very carefully because let me be honest with you. If you are coming out to hit the way you're hitting, I want to see, are you in opposition? Are you from the past government? If you're from the past government, I have the laundry list I will bring out. Every point you're pointing out, I will give you from the laundry list. So let's carefully. I'm not trying to play with anybody's emotion. I'm just trying to give the Boyka government the opportunity to do what they're supposed to do. Okay, we're in 6 months. Let's compare 6 months to the last government when they started their 6 months. I can tell you in detail what happened in the 6 months. So you're talking about people in Cape Mount. We can talk about the killing of people in the past government. So let's tread carefully when people are talking. No, I'm not playing with words. I'm able to shoot and tell you who is wrong and who is this. But if you're sitting in a seat, the driver's seat, a lot of you people don't know the kind of heat that George Weah had under him. So people said things. A lot of people don't know the heat that Joseph Boyka have under him. So people are talking and saying all kinds of things. Some of us know how to speak to truth to power, but we're taking our time to give them opportunity to see them move forward. That's all
when
we're doing.
When the nation is plunged into chaos, then I think you will start speaking. You're taking time now.
The nation has always been plunged into chaos.
And that's why people. That's why you people need to speak,
chaos, and all of you were dancing with it and enjoying it when the nation was plunged into chaos the last 6 years.
No, from our indication, what we are seeing, Reverend, what we are seeing, the previous government did better.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself to say that. You ought to be ashamed of yourself to say that. Where you coming from? Prince, you ought to be ashamed of yourself to say the previous government did better in 6 months. Compare 6 months to the first 6 months of
George Weah compare government. 12 years because this is a 12 years government, the continuity of the Unity Party.
You're just being political, man.
No. Now I've been sincere. You are there 12 years. You are just completing. Don't do that.
No. We're just being political.
We're being political. We are sincere here. We must hold government feet to the fire. We are sincere.
What kind of fire you holding the government feet to? You didn't hold the previous
you can't. You using what? The government not good. The government not bad. Who can be good and they can be bad? You got to be straight. You got to be to the point, Reverend. You got to stop playing with the emotion of the Liberian people. Society is depending on you. People like you. Society is depending on people like you to be able to hold government feet to the fire.
Exactly. That is why people like you cannot mislead the Liberian people. Give the man chance. Let's see what he's doing. If he's
Get
wrong,
chance when
we
they
tell
start
him he's
killing our
wrong.
people. We must get chance when the prices of things increasing.
Oh,
We
come
must
on,
get chance,
man.
right? Okay, we'll
Come
get
on.
chance.
Sorry,
Let's
go ahead, Derek. Let's go ahead because he just been political here tonight, and I can shoot from the hip, but we're trying to give opportunity. Sorry, Derek. Go
Let's
ahead.
respect the rules of the show. Let's protect each other. Let's have our points made.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
If need be, I will put timer on here. When you finish, you get down the rebuttal. I will give you the opportunity to rebuttal. But let's talk so
Thank you, sir.
our audience can be able to understand us. I will move on from you guys. I will go to Ayiti for Mr. Williams. I'm sorry. For a minute and 30 seconds, and I will come back to you, Mr. Buddha. But again, and Mr. Williams, you have I see you have something to say. You kept coming closer to the screen, so I'll give you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, Derek, you know, criticism is a price you pay for leadership. The day you're unwilling to be criticized is the day you're unfit to lead anybody. I think we should be open to criticism, and because it's a fact. These people put their lives on the line, you know, they camping and this and that, and they elected this man to office. And considering the sufferings of our people, the injustices, you would think that I think we need a more robust and proactive, you know, strategy put in place to ensure that the condition of our people are improved. But if we sit around and try to play games in politics here, I mean, we'll find ourselves going back to the same place we were. So this is all we're saying. And so if we see that you know we're not making progress, I think it's obvious for us to come up and be straight up to say these things. You know, Shakespeare said to their own self be true. Won't we be true to ourselves? I think you know this is the perfect opportunity for us to come here and be able to express ourselves, be able to pitch in ideas, you know, in ways that we can find, you know, solutions to the problem that our country is facing. I just want to throw that in.
Thank you very much. Now, that's a very good point. Let me come to you, Mr. Boda. Weigh in on this. Now, you have to agree with. I mean, would you agree with Mr. Sheriff when he said you can't be doing good and doing bad at the same time? Now, if you want to say I will give the government the benefit of the doubt because there's still more time for them to do good or do bad. Just say it. But let me give you the opportunity to weigh in on this. Do you think this administration is doing good? Do you think this administration is not doing good overall? What's your take on it?
Okay, look, let us be honest with ourselves. We have serious issues in Liberia, and you cannot address all of the issues that we have in Liberia in 6 months, or even within a year time, or within 2 years time. So, first and foremost, we're talking about trade, we're talking about commerce, and so forth. When you talk about commerce, there's the whole lot that involved. You're talking about there's a global economic crisis going on right now. First and foremost, Liberia does not export anything to help our economy. Everything is imported into the country, from grocery to everything that we consume in Liberia is not being imported into the country. So that's a change. You don't have any industry in the country to create an economic boom for job, for anything. So what do you expect? You know, when people just try to compare things and just talking because they want to feel good about themselves, I feel a little bit disingenuous to our Liberian people. We in America here, we see the price of things on the market. We all here sit here, we work every day. If you can compare the price of bread to that of what we had years back, and think about Liberia, where you're not producing anything, you don't have no jobs, and here you want to sit there and talk about price of things going up, you know? And Brother Sherry here talking about giving laundry list of things. He should be ashamed by himself. He should be ashamed by himself. You talking about no sign on the road, no day, no day. When people were dying on the motorcycle every day, 6 people, 7 people on the motorcycle, that's what you want to continue in Liberia? You want to have 20 people riding on one bicycle, people throwing a bag of rice on their head on the motorcycles? Having 4 people on the back of the taxi driver, you want to compare it with 6 people on the back of a motorcycle? Come on, brother Sharif. What planet are you living in? Be honest with yourself. I understand you are a blood lover of CDC, but let's love Liberia first. We had to put some measure in place. I visited Liberia. I saw the harm people were dying. When people were running into kids, just randomly every day killing children.
Thank you, Mr. Boda. Thank you so much. We have to move on from. We have to go to Bishop Hager, and then we'll take a break. When we come back, we will get more into our discussions or other discussions. Bishop Hager, let me give you the opportunity to first talk about whatever interests you this week, the week before, in Liberia politics or the diaspora. And you've been listening to the conversation. If you can weigh in on the government performance overall, I'll give you the opportunity to do so.
Thank you very much to the panelists. I know we all love Liberia. We want the best for the country. One of the things that I really want to say here tonight is Liberia is not different from any other country in the world. If Liberians would just agree that this nation will never fell from heaven. It is a nation in the committee of nations. All the countries, even right now, have people who will speak that situation getting worse in all of our neighboring countries. Even those countries that have more economic capacity than us, situation is getting harder. But development requires some stringent measure. It's like, and I speak to Liberian people, if you are sick and you go to the hospital, if you don't want to go to painful surgery and you just want to approach it from the cosmetic, treating the symptom, you will remain getting sick. The surgery is not easy. It will increase your pain level. But at the end, that surgery is to help you live a better life tomorrow. Some of the policy and decisions that are being designed may appear as increasing the suffering of the Liberian people. But in it, after 6 years, my friend and brother, friend and Sherry will come back here, and I want to know on what condition he will be arguing. We are working. We are not going to allow distracted to have the opportunity for 6 years, and they never did anything besides stealing the Liberian people money. And we want to help the Liberian people. So whatever they want to say, we have 6 years. Our democratic institutions are entrenched. Nobody can cause any instability in our country. We are going to deliver what we're going to deliver in 6 years. Let Prince Sharif and his people come to the Liberian people and speak. Right now, I will tell Prince Sharif, we can't listen to you because you spoke and nobody listened to you. We won the election, we are leading, and we're going to lead correctly. And in 6 years, you can come back and start talking all these things. Listen, even those guys who are senators from CDC or representatives, some of the stakeholders, those guys that understand the dynamics of governance, they even look at Joseph Boakai 100 days. Even seditious senators and representatives say the government is on the red track. So Prince Sharif that have never had any government job, he only been on Facebook and talking things that he don't know about. He can't be the one to even evaluate the government. I will not listen to him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me stay with you, and I want you to respond to again Bishop Reeves' position on this. Do you think it's a fair assessment of the administration when Bishop Reeves said the government is not doing the government is not doing bad? Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Listen, we are not claiming perfection. We make some mistake. We take ownership of that. That's what leadership is. There was some mistake made. We just came to government. There were things that we did not understand. We are understanding. We are learning through the process.
You haven't addressed my question. Do you think it's a fair assessment? Government is
I
not.
respect Bishop Reed. Anything Bishop Reed, and that's his opinion. I subscribe to what he's saying. For me, I'm saying we made some mistake, and we're gonna take that mistake and learn from it. We're not here to say, "Oh, we are doing everything right." No,
I'll
even the
give you
president
another.
himself. You
I'll give
listen
you.
today in the cabinet retreat. He spoke to the cabinet minister. That's what leaders do. If you make mistake, you have to admit it and move forward.
Bishop Hager, I will give you one final opportunity to respond to my question. Do you think that is a fair assessment of the administration based on what you just said? He said the government is not doing bad. Do you think that is a fair assessment of this administration?
The government is not doing bad. I said it emphatically. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll give you a minute, 30-second, Prince and Mr. Sheriff, because your name was mentioned twice by Mr. Boda and Bishop Hager. So I'll give you a minute, 30 seconds, and then after we'll take a break. You're on mute.
Yeah, so I listening to Bishop Hager, who said Liberia is not different from any other nation on the planet Earth. Meaning that if I'm to paraphrase, like other nations that have challenges, Liberia also have. But I wish Bishop Hager was in the position to say this during the regime of the CDC-led government. President, we are administration, because Bishop Hager is on record of saying that they could solve the problem, that Liberia was an extraordinary nation, that when given the opportunity, they will make sure that we will have marble towers. They will make sure that the streets will be built with gold and diamond, to the extent that Joseph Nyuma Boyka is on record of saying that Sawa, your bay. He is on record. We have the record here. He said, Asawa your bay. But today, the man who said we base Sawa, today the man can and take mud from on the other side of the road and put it on the other side. But you want us to be excited. Thank God we have an engineer here who, is more like, very balanced. May not be involved in our political son. In this day, age, and time, you take mud from on the side of the road, you put it on the road, you say, oh, more clap. That's how you come in rescue. But Bishop Hager forgot to know that yesterday they condemned everything that President Weah did. Everything that President Weah did. Thank you for putting this up. In this day, age, and time, look at it. That thing you call development. They think we want to get there for true. I myself can take on the initiative to get there for on the side of the road and put it. But Bishop Hager is saying here it's okay. Look, I will say this. The church is seriously compromised. If Liberia will be better, those that are leaders in the church must stand up, because we are depending on these religious leaders to speak true to government. But from what we are seeing from our indication, we, the commoners, will have to rise up, because the leaders who are in the church, who are supposed to be the voice of divinity, who are supposed to be the voice of the most supreme God, they've been compromised today, and we are seeing it right here. When bishop and church leaders and imams are taking position in government, then where are you leaving the people? When these people are board members, where are you leaving there? The people who are supposed to tell that they think a good or they think a bad, they're not good, it's not bad. You leave it in the middle. Then what think we the common people are supposed to do? Look, church leaders, if Liberia will be better, you must play your role.
Thank you. You've exhausted your 1 minute 30 seconds, guys. I'd love to come back
I gotta address the Prince.
Yes, I understand you do. I will come to Mr. William next, Bishop Reeves, and then you, Bishop Hager. But first, we have to take a break, and we will do a commercial break, and then be right back after our break. We'll see you guys after the break.
Introducing Suku Express, shipping from the USA to Liberia, offering pickup services from Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, and New York. Suku Express is very reliable, efficient, trustworthy, and seamless. U.S. warehouse and loading dock is at 54101 Tacony Street, Philadelphia, PA 19137. Contact 267-987-6821 or 267-437-6463. Then in Liberia, at Dry Rice Market, Bannersville Road. Contact 0775-245-666 or 0555-594-53.
Hey, this is Grace, the CEO of the founder Suku Express. Parcel your stuff good, valuable stuff goes in a plastic barrel. You gotta shrink wrap, you like the barrel, you gotta shrink wrap the barrel, protect your stuff. Boxes, used for use shoes. Any box taller than me, I can't ship it.
With Suku Express, your worries are over. Ship with confidence and ease. Thanks for doing businesses with Suku Express.
Celebrating the lives of our dearly departed loved ones is no easy task. That's why you become family the minute you walk through the doors of the Exodus Funeral Chapel. Exodus Funeral Chapel is deeply committed to helping you navigate your way through this difficult time. Our services are reliable, affordable, and professional. Call us, visit our website, or feel free to stop by in person for your consultation. At the Exodus Funeral Chapel, we believe in the dignity of your loved ones. Empathy and respect is the goal of our staff. Exodus Funeral Chapel. Empathy, respect, and dignity.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the Liberia Radio and Television Network right here in Northeast Philadelphia, and also we have our office open on Carey Street in Monrovia, Liberia. You're watching episode 1, season 2 of the Hard Zone. My name is Derrick Yallay, and I'm playing host tonight here. I'm here with a team of panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasions. And again, do us a favor, please continue to share this program on your Facebook page. And this program is being live streamed on Facebook and on YouTube. Before the break, we had a conversation here on the performance of His Excellency's Joseph Yemambuaka administration, and we got comments from our panelist, Mr. Sheriff, of which was going to go over to you, Mr. William, for your tip, because he did mention your background, and so I just want to ask you a question to kind of fact check one of his comments about Boycott performance on a certain role, where taking more from one side to another. I just wanted you to give us your expert opinion, how you think this administration is doing on the road projects that they're undertaking. And then I know Bishop Hager had a comment, but before I get to him, I will go to Bishop Reeves. But let's hear from you first, Mr. Williams.
Well, I do follow the road construction, road rehabilitation and projects in Liberia. And for the most part, to answer your question or to respond to your question, the major problem we have in Liberia, before just getting to Joseph Yemambuaka's, plan for road improvement in Liberia, we see it has to do with the fact that we've not adequately categorized our roads as far as having national roads, or maybe having county roads. We can have, we say, a municipal road, and the fact that we generalize our roads to talk about primary, secondary, and tertiary road, which tend to be a problem. But the point the brother made down there about taking material from one side of the road to the next side of the road, we see that the sequence and method or the means of construction in Liberia is there's no standard. There is no standard. I do not know how the Department of Public Works, how they put their standard or the means and sequence of work, how they intend to do those work. Sometimes I get really, I get confused. It gets complicated. So, and this is a major problem until the department can come up with standards, standard drawings, standard practices as to how our roads have to be built. We will continue to have the same problem, because we take our projects and we outsource these projects, whether to international firms or consulting firms to come, and they give us what they want to give us. Until we can put into place standard practice as to how we want our roads to be built, we will continue to have the same problem. And so a lot of the roads that I see, not to disqualify the projects and things of that nature, they are of substandard. So to answer that question, until we can put into place standard drawings, standard practices, means and method as to how we want our roads to be constructed, we will continue to have the same problem that we have from time to time. So those roads are not of no quality, no standard. and things like that. So we'll continue to have the problem that we're faced with.
Thank you. And
And I
just
agree.
just to stay with you, Mr. Williams, you talk about putting in place standard practices, as we see in other countries, especially here in the United States. What steps do you take, or do you think this administration can take or should take to make sure that there are standard practices from the Ministry of Public Work, that is the department responsible for that? Just something that it can mimic what's being done in let's say, for example, the US.
Well, you see that the one of the problems I see there, like I said, we have roadway maintenance, and then you have new construction. So a lot of the roads that we see that are being, I won't say new road construction, because a lot of those roads they're trying to maintain them. So we should have standard practice as to how we would do our roadway maintenance, and the Department of Public Work should be responsible for that. That would dictate how these roads would be maintained or how we would carry on our new roadway construction. But the department does not have any standard to give the contractor to say, look, this is exactly how these maintenance are to be done. For example, let's assume a lot of the roads down there, dirt road. And if you're doing, we see some surface roads, for example, the bituminous, or maybe they're doing rigid pavement. There are all the standards. So until they can come up with those standards, standard practices, there will continue to be problems. We need to have standard practice for our drainage, how drainages will be constructed. That's another problem that affect the road. Then the type of material, how the materials are to be compacted. Where when it rains, stormwater and things of that nature, where are they going? If we don't put those practices in place, we would definitely continue to have the same problem from time to time. I mean, these are the standards that I'm talking about. So the department itself needs to sit down, put together the standard drawings, practices, specifications, special provisions. Then we can use those and train our in-house staff, that will follow through with those standard practices to ensure that we are delivering as it relates to the contract drawings and specifications. Other than that, we'll continue to have the same problem.
Thank you, thank you. I apologize, but let me stay with you for this one last question. When I ask what you think the government can do to improve the process or to make sure there are standard practices, I was asking more from a personnel angle. Do you think a person that do not have your background and knowledge within this field, if they're put over that department responsible for public works, do you think they would know about standard practices, standard civil engineering practices as far as infrastructure and roadway designs in Liberia?
Well, it's to answer the question, someone will know by reading the theory, but the reason why things have been built in a certain way, they may not understand that. So I think the best thing to do here is ensure that you have someone who have that background, who has not only the theoretical background, but also is licensed, who has experience. That person can provide some level of oversight, maximum oversight, and can also, train other technocrats to be able to follow through, even in the absence of that individual who has that background. So to answer that question again, we need to have someone who has the educational background as well as the field experience to be able to provide oversight.
Thank you very much. Now let's go over to you, Bishop Reeves. I know I was going to come back to you for a rebuttal on Prince's comment. I'm sure I'll give you.
I'm supposed to make some comment too, though.
Yeah.
I said I was going to come to you after Bishop Hagan.
Yeah. The first thing I want to say is that I 100% agree with Mr. William concerning having standard practice, right? 100%, and you are correct. We have not had that in this government or the government before. Example, the Japanese highway. When they were doing that Japanese highway, the person from the Ministry of Public Works that are supposed to tell the people, hey, this, that represent the government. We did not have them there. So if you go and assess the Japanese highway now from Freeport to Red Light, along the way, you will start seeing water sitting in the middle of the road at some point. Okay, if you go past Bartonsville Junction and other places, you will start seeing stuff because we didn't have our supervisors to carry out standard practice. Go to Chubor, the road that was done in Chubor. Go and look at it. The rain has started taking it from this. So we do not have people who have been competent to oversee these projects, whether it is the last government or this government. We haven't seen that. So yes, we need standard practice. Liberians need to be competent in doing the work, and we need to change our mindset. Now, when we had our previous programs when we had season 5, okay, when I came on season 5, we were just getting into the elections fever. A good number of the panelists here felt that I was undercover Josh Weah. So they accused me and said all kinds of things, including Bishop Hager. All right. But at that time, I was the same way I am now. I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I would not be the first person to start striking. Yeah, it's wrong. Yeah, no. I will always try to study the situation and try to give people the benefit of the doubt because I live in this country. Yes, I mean between America and Liberia, but I live in Liberia. I study the Liberian people. I understand the dynamics that we're living under here. And please, I don't want when I give my opinion as a person that you will start attacking my office. You're the bishop, you're the man of God. If you go that route, I will go another route. Because it's not that we don't know the negatives and the dirt that you people have done. We know that, but we are tolerant. We try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Okay, yes, you can call a spade, but there is a way you can call a spade that you're not calling a spade to destroy everything, knowing that your nose have not been clean. So when we come on the show, the same thing. People thought I was against the Boyka government. I was defending Josh Weah government. Now I see all the Boyka people sitting one side and the Josh Weah government people think that, yeah, I'm supporting. No. If the thing is good, I say it's good. If it's not good, I say it's not good. Not every government is bad. And not every government has been good. And that's the fact. And it's not one jacket fit everything all. We can break it down, and I can tell you why am I saying the bad stuff. I can tell you why am I saying the good stuff. If the person did something good, what's wrong with saying the person did something good? If the person did something bad, what's wrong with saying no? That one is not good. We have to say it. Look at the decisions that have been made. Look at some of the people that have been put in position. The legislature right now that we're talking about, the legislature. Can you imagine you put somebody like Nathaniel McGill in charge of education when he can't even read properly?
Thank you.
Let's hit. So what I'm trying to say to all of us is that I am not sugarcoating anything. I am just giving people the benefit of the doubt. If the person did well, I said they did well. If they did wrong, I said they did wrong. Because the issue is not just all everything hang on leadership, but the Liberian people have a greater part to play, and we must play that part.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bishop Reeves. Let's hear now from you, Bishop Hager.
Thank you very much. I read a comment from my friend and brother Prince. Sheriff, thank you so much for that. I think I'm not one of those hundreds of fake pastors that lied to George Weah in Liberia. In fact, George Weah even admitted that those pastors deceiving. I have never been of the Prince Johnson, Prince Sherry want to correct and tell us as men of God what we're supposed to do. He must go back to what I call those small sedition pastors that lied to George Weah to let him know that all their prophecy and everything was a blatant lie. God did not speak to them, and today the result is there. So if you want to correct men of God, you should go and correct those hundreds of pastors who lie every day to George Weah and eat his money. I'm not one of those. I will speak the truth. Now, I heard my friend Aye Williams talking about the road condition. And you're an engineer. I just wanted to say something because it's very, very important for Liberian people to understand. You know, as an engineer, to build 1 mile of road is between 2 million to 3 million. Just to build 1 mile of paved road, 2-lane, will cost between 2 to 3 million. Now, Liberia budget for 2024, according to the budget here, is 738 million. Out of that, 276 million is going towards paying salary and what have you, and some 106 million go to security, 80 million go to healthcare and what have you. The point I'm trying to drive out here is, in your own mind, you're an engineer, do you think we can effectively build infrastructure in Liberia with a budget of 738 million when the city of Philadelphia, just to run the municipality in Philadelphia, is $14 billion? Just running Philadelphia alone. We do not have the economic capacity to build the kind of infrastructure that we all desire. Secondly, Liberia is a wet country, and paved roads are not good for water. Even in China, with all the best technology, some of their roads are being washed away during the monsoon rain. And it's a new, even in America, I've seen places where the erosion have taken off the paved roads and what have you, and they go by to fix it. The weather will cause problems. We, as Joseph Waga said when he came into power, and nobody here will be naive and think that in 100 days we are going to build paved road in Liberia. It never happened. Please instruct Prince Sherry that doesn't know about how roads are built. What we did was just to help the alleviation of all the transportation problems that were taking place. The roads, big cars were being stuck in the mud. We are going to look for money, big money, to have the road, the coastal highway will require almost $480 million. Do we have that money in Liberia? Do you think will just be a match? We just waste our hand, 480 million comes? The road between Grand Gita and Maryland, that road, the African Development Bank already made the money available. The assessment is going on. That road will be built. So we are not saying here that Joseph Waga go and take use greater road. It makes no sense for anybody to even assume that when Joseph Waga made that statement, he was going to pave the road. It cannot happen in 100 days. It will not happen. But we are committed to providing good roads. And we are talking to our multinational institution because we don't have the money. Our budget is $738 million. We don't have any money. The country is broke.
Thank you.
Can I make a point real quick, Derrick, and I'll be very short.
I was going to come to you to let me give you the opportunity now because he made some statements.
I'm deceiving the Liberian people here.
The background will be
Bishop Hager made a point about 1 or 2 mile road being 2 million, some number he came up with. In construction, quality, in fact, in marketing or whatever, quality is what you pay for. So the quality of or the standard of roads that you're building in Liberia, I'm pretty sure it's not comparable to the roads that you would be building maybe in China or building in America. So in terms of budget, the quality of roads that we will be building would dictate or would kind of spell out how much we would need to build that road. So, having said that, I just wanted to say that. And I think what's even more important when it comes to our infrastructure, I think we need to sit down and begin to plan. We need to do some feasibility studies because 6 years, we cannot build the roads that we want to build. We need to be talking about maybe 15, 20, 30 years from now. So we visionary. We don't need people to, because you're going to be in power for 6 years and you want to make sure that you make a mark. How about we start thinking about the future? What's going to happen 15, 20, 30 years from now. And
Yes.
that way we will be able to produce quality infrastructure as opposed to, a lot of the work that you see in Liberia, they just facade. Just look at your drainages. Think about your bridges, the bridges that they're building. Think about the cover. And think about the quality of asphalt, or the concrete or rigid pavement road that you're producing in Liberia. They are of no quality. So when it comes to the
Thank you.
numbers, there's no way we can make the comparison.
Thank you. Before
Thank you.
I would like to come to you, Mr. Boda, but let me come back to Bishop Hager and ask you this question though, because again, I will piggyback on Mr. Sheriff's earlier point. You started off you started off your position with excuses. You are on record for criticizing the previous administrations for not doing what you are making excuses for the current administration. President, we had time. All of a sudden, they were not building up to standard roads. You did not see that the government never had money. A matter of fact, during the elections, you supported a campaign team that promised the Liberian people that they knew better. They knew how to do it better, and they know where to get the money from to do it. Everyone has said it on this show. President Bwaka is he has so much experience on this. You sold this narrative to the Liberian people. Just less than 1 year now, you're making the same excuses Sedition were making for Jowia yesterday.
Yes.
That is deception 101.
It's no
And
deception
let me,
101. It is absolutely.
I'm asking.
I want to stop you there. It is
No. I'm the
absolutely
host.
no
I'm the
deception. I
host.
just want to
I'm the
listen. I'll
host.
be very honest with you. Listen.
Bishop
It's
Hager.
don't use that word deception 101. It is no deception, and I will not sit here for you to say that.
Bishop
No.
Hager, I recognize you, but let me ask you my question. If yesterday you criticized an administration for this, and today you're making excuses for another administration,
I am not making any excuses.
Bishop Hager, I'm the host here. I will ask you the question.
Go right ahead.
I will give you enough time to address my question. If you're making excuses for the very same thing you criticized previous administration for, that's falls under the definition of deception. And again, you sold the narrative to the Liberian people. This is what I want you to address. You sold the narrative to the Liberian people that Joseph Bwaka, the rescuer, he can say to the Liberian people from this, he will know how to find money to build quality roads and make a major impact in Liberia today. Why are you making those excuses today?
I'm not making any excuse. Derrick, Honorable, I want to let everybody know you will judge me based on what I told you in the next 3 years. We have just started barely. If you are building a house, you have to put the material together. You have to make sure that the foundation is there. We just took over office in January. We just in May, and you want to judge my progress? Terry, God be my witness. I will allow you to judge us after the next 2 years. If you don't see tangible in terms of the changes in the country, then you can judge me. But I think right now, I'm not making any excuse. I'm saying it's just too young, too soon to start to hold me responsible for my word. We are not in that corrupt.
I think what Derrick is saying, I stand with him 100%, and you and I and all of us know
you
that.
stand with him 1,000%.
Yes, we had this tough thing on the show when you guys were saying what Bwaka is going to do.
And that's
now
what we
you
are
didn't
doing.
tell us. Yeah, no, you didn't tell us.
we
listen,
failed?
you didn't tell. No, you didn't tell us.
That's the fifth month. You tell him what
Yeah,
you
but
want to say.
listen.
Are we failed?
No, listen. The way, it's your presentation. Okay, and you guys had to present the way you wanted because you wanted to win the election. So you could say anything at a time. And you guys were jumping on me at that time when we were, yes, all of you were jumping on me and telling me I'm undercover situation. But this is the very same thing that you guys were saying.
Okay,
all right,
let me.
You didn't tell us to say, okay, we would, but we take over, give us the first year or something. You made it clear. I listen. I will listen to you, but just listen to this though.
I'm calling you because I want to speak to you.
Yeah, hold on. You will speak to me.
You raised.
You address. Yeah, but you address it. But guess what? The thing is, Derrick said the right thing to us. That you guys came out and made it so like this is what Burger is going to do. We heard that, but now you are giving excuses, and that's exactly what is happening. And he's holding excuses. He's holding your people
not giving excuses. You have to understand something, and I want all the Liberians to understand something. We are committed to delivering. We're in a political season. Political season means you politics. What is politicking? Politicking is influencing the opinion of people to give you state power. We have an agenda. We have the rescue agenda, and we are involved in implementing the rescue agenda. Watch my word. Those things that we promise the Liberian people will come to fruition. We are going to do it. Let's look at the area of accountability. We had a past government where, I don't even want to tell the evidence out there. Not me saying all the multilateral institutions, the Bretton Woods, IMF, they refuse to do business with that government because they were the headquarters of corruption in the world.
Yeah, but
let me go to Mr. Boda. Mr. Boda, give us your take.
All right. It's interesting that we're having a conversation. And my brother Aite, being in the engineering, is a professional in that direction. I think he'll bear me witness here. He knows very well to build a standard road. Many times it's not 5 months, not 6 months. Depending the kind of road they're building. And we see here on the corridor of the 95, they have been here for the last 3 years trying to reconstruct just the 95. So, and he mentioned a lot of things that we need to do, the standard policies, and we need to have a national development standard plan, which I don't know if we have one. That is when I was shortcoming in the country. So all of these things that we talk about, our roads, standard road, our roads are not up to standard. These are all day roads. How many roads we have? The major highway we have currently is the Montreal-Ganta Highway. I must admit, that's the longest road, I think, stretch of road we may have, kilometer road that we may have right now in our country. So, and maybe the context for which Mr. Boakai spoke when he talked about car not going to stop in the mud, I don't think he meant that he was going to have the road paved in 100 days. I don't think anybody in a right rational mind here would think so. And what he's trying to do as a government and as a leader is to accommodate those areas in our roads infrastructure that have these problems for years, where when it rains, the people cannot be able to pass through, like the Zedru Highway, the Ganta, somewhere, all in the area. And I tried to right behind Monrovia, Bapolu, you couldn't even get through. So some of these roads needs to be rehabilitated, maybe constantly grade these roads, make that accessible for people to go through. So, we should applaud the government for taking some of the initiative. We don't have to wait for our road to go down into the drain where you got trenches, you can't even pass through. Even in Monrovia itself, the community roads that we need to plow the road, at least, even if we don't pave them, we don't put stand up, make it stand up, but make it accessible. And those are things I think we can applaud the government for taking some initiative.
Thank you, Mr. Boda. Thank you, Mr. Buddha. Now let me reiterate my point. Now, the previous administration, right? They had their challenges. Matter of fact, the Liberian people, because of how the previous administration performed, they voted them out. And they bought the campaign message of Unity Party to rescue them.
That's
Now
right.
they have the balls in the court. My issue here is the issue I was bringing up to Bishop Hagar. Just few years ago, the previous administration, you told the Liberian people that we are supposed to be building quality roads in less than 3 years. You didn't tell the Liberian people, oh, we will need to get money, and you know it don't take 6 years or 6 months to build roads. That's not what you told the Liberian people. You told the Liberian people that we are supposed to build road overnight. That's what you told the Liberian people.
Nobody told you we had that.
Listen.
No, we did not say that. Don't say that. We didn't say
Mr.
that.
Porter, that's you guys insinuated that. Now, what you guys are explaining, what you are explaining now, what you guys are trying to get us to understand now, you did not say that from the beginning. On the record, you guys made us to believe that it was going to happen overnight, even though we know that it was not going to happen overnight.
Bishop Reed. That's not a
Bishop Reed.
But you know that. Oh, you know that. We're just holding you. We're holding you accountable for what you're saying. We're trying to be paid.
Nobody
said come on now.
overnight.
We're trying to help you. We're trying to. I listen to Jack. We try. Listen. We were trying to give you guys the opportunity to do what you're supposed to do. That's why I did not start off by criticizing you. All right, I was giving you a chance so you can do what you're supposed to do. But I see you guys as trying to make big mouth at the same time.
We're not
It's not going to work.
If you are
going to do it,
we
are going to do it. But you can't tell us to do it in 6 months. We haven't started yet. We're going to do that.
Mr. Buddha.
We're going to do that. So you can't tell me say what happened. We're going to perform. We're going to do that.
Mr. Buddha.
Give us our term. When our term finishes, then you hold me accountable when we come here for election.
Let me finish. I'm moving on to Mr. Sheriff on this one. But let me finish. Just
I wanted to say something.
I would.
You say Jack.
Quiet for a while. But
I wanted to say to Bishop Reed and to Sheriff, there's something we call politicking.
Bishop Hagar.
Politicking. You got to go and learn politics. That's what we did. Politics.
Politics. Get a mention, let him moderate.
I can't keep begging you to protect me on the house zone. Bishop Hagar, you got to protect me at some point.
Well, the house zone is becoming a soft zone. You gave him that's not real thing.
No,
we talk for politics. Let's go.
As a side point.
You got my brother Sherry want to sleep all night.
No. I'm not. I'm here. I'm just taking down points, and I'm not sleeping here. I can be like this for the next 4 or 5 hours.
Where the CDC heart can be very. Look, I don't even know how to describe it. Please take on the heart, Sherry.
Bishop Hagar, you are getting out of order. You can't just take over. Give the moderator a chance.
We need to follow the rules of the show. Let's
there you are protected.
I will get everybody the time to make their point. Let me make my point and go to Mr. Sheriff here. Because that's the question I want to ask Mr. Sheriff. As a side point, if today you cannot own up to something you said yesterday, maybe you need to apologize to the Liberian people for deceiving them. Because the information you gave today was far from reality. Now, what I was saying, we heard from Mr. Williams, who has his background in that very sector. When he made his statement here, guess what? He said those benefits will be reached in 15 to 20 years. And that's the fact of the matter. What CDC could have done yesterday in that sector, the benefit will never be for today, it will be for years later. But no, you did not tell the Liberian people that. You said CDC is supposed to do it overnight. Matter of fact, you knew how to do it overnight. Now today, you're saying, oh, we not get money. The country not get no money. CDC had money yesterday.
No.
CDC had money yesterday. But let me go to Mr. Sheriff on this. And I know you've been taking down.
What the CDC
I know you've been taking down.
What the CDC said to the Unity Party in 2017 when they were campaigning.
Mr. Bishop Hagar, I will come back to you. You're making me lose my but let me give you the opportunity, Mr. Sheriff, to just make your point. I will ask him a question because I lost my thought.
You see, I listening to Brother Williams, and I like the way he put it. And if I am to pick into it and paraphrase it, look, you need to put technocraft to where technocraft belong. Put the kitchen ball to where the kitchen ball belong. Put a person who can talk to where
Look
they
at the
belong.
mirror.
Yesterday, the Unity Party ran on a campaign that everything that happened under the CDC-led government, it was wrong because we did not have professionals in those areas, according to them. And they said they had all of the professionals that could make things work. Mr. Joseph Numa Braka is on record of saying on the class reload, he said within 100 days, absolutely no car will be stuck in the mud. He said we have the friends, we have the connections, that all we need to do is to ask our friends and they will be able to bring out those equipments or whatever for it to be done. I am surprised today if Bijahika is saying, or the Big Brother Martin is saying that time we should give time. When yesterday you made the Liberian people to believe that Liberia could be built in just 3 months. Because this quick interruption, that's why I am not a fan of just this quick, change of government. Because as you change government, there are so many disruption. There are so many disruption. Like how you call the man who is a a professional in this area of engineering. I agree with him that you cannot build, especially in the kind of Liberia that we find ourselves, building road in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's not possible. But if the Unity Party and Bishop Hager and other people here who supported the Unity Party yesterday, if they would have informed the Liberian people that, look, my people, while it is true that the CDC have our own challenges, but these things cannot be done in this time, we're not going to be talking this. But they use their chronics. They use people who they had in big places to do what they did. And to tell you this, look, Unity Party did not win no election from CDC. We all know internationally the politics that was played. We all know what happened to the extent that big government diplomats that was in Liberia, they were being used as campaign managers. There are on records here of people saying they gave money to press people, and the press people, the only thing they did, they misled the Liberian people, and they said all kinds of things. They are on record. That's why we should be very, very careful with the way we proceed, especially when we want something. You see, the deception that was being preached by the Unity Party is now right before their doors. It's right before their doorsteps. So how do you do it? How do you now convince the Liberian people when you told the Liberian people that you are better off? In fact, you said you are the most experienced. That's it. You said you are the most experienced. That was one of their campaign message that they ran with. That they are the most experienced. And when they are given the opportunity, they will do it best. But to see them proceeding in this way, form, and manner. And I'm hearing somebody saying, my own big brother Martin say, we shouldn't live at 100 days. So are you telling us now we should not trust Joseph Numa Boyka? Is that what you're telling us?
No,
That we should not trust Joseph Numa, because if he's saying that 180 we get live by, so you're telling us now that we should not trust Joseph Numa Boyka because he said it from his own words. So this is to tell you that the Unity Party now, they are caught up in a web of mis and disinformation with lies. So you are telling us to not believe the man who is the head of government. You are telling us to not believe him. And what he said yesterday is our lie. He lied to us.
Thank you.
So since he lied to us, have you people come up to appeal or to apologize? Have you?
Everything he said, he did.
You didn't say it.
He did it.
You did not say it. Now we're looking at people who are visionary leaders. Like to just lay on this, Brother William said something. He talked about leaders who have the vision. People who will look into the future and say, look, this road that we're building is not just for 2 years or 3 years. Let's do something that will last for generation ahead. Is Joseph Numa Boyka that visionary leader? A man who, as I speak to you now, don't even have his own project. Today we turn up water in Mosorado County. Do you know that was something that was initiated by the WIA-led government, and today they are now reaping the benefit? That's what happened.
Thank you,
Let's for an example. He Mo Ali himself said it with the trucks that came. I mean, the trucks that came from water. So he have to come up on air and told the Liberian people that, oh yeah, it was the Unity Party, the CDC government that made the arrangement for these trucks and everything.
But
And
government
we
has
are just
continuity. Government
beneficiary
did
of
not
it.
benefited from the
Are you
United
understand?
Party when it came
We
in
just receive it.
2017,
So at
2018.
the end of the day, now we are seeing the reality. You use propaganda to be able to deceive the people to vote for you, but now you cannot use the same propaganda now to lead the people. Reality now has come to bear. You got to provide, you got to rescue without excuse. So we are not listening to all of these excuses that you're giving around. Oh, you know, you got to wait. They up to us. Yes, no. You got to rescue us now because you hold us by the same standard. You hold us by that standard. So we must hold you by the standard.
Thank you,
Prince.
Mr.
Do
Sherry.
unto others as you would like others do unto you.
Guys, we
So
are
Prince,
almost
as you narrated so well,
before you
right?
come in,
So the Unity Party,
before you
Derek.
come here, if I will give you the opportunity, but we're running out of time, so
All
I'll
right,
do
go
a
ahead.
minute. I'll do a minute 30 seconds. I just wanted you to know. I'll put it on the timer, and I'll do a minute 30 seconds. Go ahead, Mr. Buddha.
No, I just wanted to point to Sherry that he mentioned other the project that the CDC government led completed, the road project that Ellie initiated that they completed. So it means that CDC didn't do anything. Is he alluding to because Boga are not they completed water project? That means the CDC project. So you didn't do anything. Is that what you're saying?
You can respond to that because he still got a couple of seconds left on his 1 minute 30 seconds. Go
So
ahead.
if you are saying that government is continuity, if you are saying that government is continuity, then that's the reason why this particular issue of accountability, this issue of making sure that you can set up a team to be able to recover assets, then you must start from the Unity Party led government that you was in.
You have not
If you are
answered
saying
the
that
question.
government is
You should have
continuity,
continued.
then you must start from there. So instead government is continuity. Don't dwell that we didn't do it, so therefore you will not. So start from there. If you say that government is continuity, then it means that what you need to do is to start from all the way when you was in power, when you received 16 billion. So you start from there.
Thank you,
My
guys.
brother
Thank you.
Prince,
Bishop Hagan, you got a minute.
you
and
get
30
6
seconds.
years to be talking. When campaign come, I will encourage you to come talk more. But you still get 6 years to listen.
That's it.
I finished talking to Prince. I said, Prince, we are no more doing campaign. He campaigning. There's no way Joseph Waga going to resign because of your talking. We're going to do what we're going to do, and we'll have 6 years to go.
Bishop, we are not campaigning. What we are doing now is allowing you to lead. It's allowing you to be able to fulfill your promise. We are just reminding you. Look, we
are doing it.
Doing what? Doing what? Look, let's
we are working, Prince.
Let's get the reality here. No, let's get the reality. You call working when the whole nation is now turned into chaos. That's what you call working. When today people look at what happened today at the ministerial complex. Look at what happened today. You now have your first political prisoner. You have now a political prisoner now. People who went to exercise their democratic franchise by calling on the government to do her work. You collected about 4 of them. As I speak to you now, they are in jail. The first political prisoner have been registered under the Unity Party government.
Right, there's a Ministry of Justice is supposed to give you permit for any political gathering. If you do,
no, we don't need. The people don't need. They don't need Ministry of Justice to give them permit to be able to call on their government to do what is right. You don't.
But why is it during your time the Ministry of Justice will always behind people not to gather?
Bishop Hagan, Mr. Sheriff.
But the man will not be disingenuous here. He will not be disingenuous here. Let him speak the truth. Shouldn't deceive the Liberian people. You need permit.
There wasn't a day, Bishop, that the CDC-led government ever stopped anybody from exercising their democratic franchise. In fact, we provided food for these protesters and security for them.
Before we move on to other issues, let me go back to Mr. Williams so he can just, after listening to all of you guys, just give us his final take on the issue of road or engineering or public works in Liberia, and using his background as a factor in just talking after listening to all of the panelists. Mr. Williams.
Thank you again, Derek, for the opportunity. And the issue of not only roads in Liberia. I know we're talking about roads, just our infrastructure is something that's dear to my heart. I'm more of a Liberian nationalist, and I'm listening to everybody here talking. I see that we're going back and forth but at the end of the day, I mean, it's about Liberia. The real question is, what type of Liberia do we want? What type of people we want to be? Here's a country that's been around since 1822, was founded 1847, seeking independence. Go 19, um, 1979, you talk about 2089, 2003. I mean, there's a whole lot this country been through. The real truth here is we need to start thinking about uh, how we can improve, our infrastructure. And the Department of Public Works has a lot of work to do. Hopefully we can produce, a well professional, uh, trained staff that will be able to create some kind of design team, that will begin to put together the design for the type of roads we want, the standard roads that we want, and then we can start putting together our own standards, specification, our special provision, our standard drawings, and those are the standards that we will use tomorrow to say, look, this is what we want. This is how our roads will be built. Not only the roads we're talking about, our bridges, our guardrails, the signage, and all the stuff form part of our roadways, our street lightnings, pavements, our dimes, all of those factors, retention basin, detention basin, because you can build one thing is to build, but how the quality of work that we put into what we're building, and not only that, but the safety of our people. I mean, the citizens, pedestrians, drivers, people who are walking on. We got to take all of those factors into consideration. So the Department of Public Works has a lot of work to be done, and not only that, whatever we're talking about, our materials. Look at the steel, the concrete, the reinforcement, the aggregates. That will be the sand. Where we storing our materials. We need to start training our technocrats, professionals. We can say inspectors that will be there when we outsource our contract, so that we can hold them accountable to it. So that's the kind of department we need, and that's the standard that we need to put. Until we can do that, we will not have a better Liberia. We will not have a better infrastructure. And to just summarize everything, I think President Borga has a lot of work to be done. Hopefully, he can try to get the right team around him. Put together the right team to be able to get this country going in the right direction, so that the
Thank
quality
you.
of lives of people can be improved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. William. And guys, thanks to all of you for your contribution tonight. And we will take one last break, and then when we come back, we'll ask you guys for your parting comments on this episode. Again, we will get your parting comments after this break.
Jam-packed 30-minute business show designed for you, the entrepreneur, the startup, the small business person who's looking for help, looking for resources to grow their business and get funding. First thing I want to ask you, stop. Before you move forward and start applying for funding, for grants, do you have everything in place?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching us from. This is the Hard Zone. We are at the very, very, very end. It has been a very, very, very interesting show tonight. It's been very interactive. I love the exchanges and the positions and opinions that were offered tonight. Again, that's what the Hard Zone is about. There's no gimmick, no fluff, just real talk. Thanks to all of you panelists for your contribution tonight, and more importantly, those of you that's watching us. Thank you for being here with us and participating on this program in the comment sections. We are at the very end of this show. Before we draw the curtain, we again would like to take all of you part and comments. And because we are short on time, I will give you guys allot you guys 2 minutes each to give us your part and comments. And then after we will draw the curtain to this episode. I would like to start with Mr. Boda, and then I will work my way all the way up to Mr. Williams last. Mr. Boda, give us your closing statement on this episode.
Oh, thank you, Derek. I just want my fellow panelists to understand that the Boga-led government has not given any deception. I think we have to look at context and many of the issues when we're addressing some of the issues. I know politically during the campaign period, we talk a lot of issues, what we're going to do, what we can and what cannot be done, and what the cities didn't do. And it was clear that they didn't do their due diligence, and we keep them out. So, and I ask the Liberian people to be patient. The government is working for them. It's going to address more of their issues and concern. It's not overnight. And some of the petty issues that we talking about, like rice, people want price to drop overnight. It's not going to happen like that. But rest assured that the government is working for you and is for you. That's your government. And they're going to protect you. And you can see for fact some of the things that are happening around. You realize that there are a lot of security measures being taken in the country, safety being put in place. And now you can have restoration of water in your capital, in Monrovia. That's a sign of progress. And we're grading all of our local roads, trying to keep it straight, maintain it in some form and shape. So we're going to do a lot. And I hope that you guys can bear with the Liberian government and Mr. Boakai and the administration that they're doing their best and listening. That's why they're having a retreat to address some of your concern. So rest assured that Liberia will be better and we all can work together and make Liberia a better Liberia. I want to say thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. As always, we appreciate your contribution here on the Horizon. Now let's hear from Prince Sharif. Please give us your closing statement.
Yeah, thank you, my brother Derek, for giving me the opportunity. And let me say thanks to the panelists. I think this discussion it was very, very fruitful. And it's very important that we continue to engage in this form and manner. And by so doing, we gave, others the opportunity to hear what is happening and how they can make an informed decision. As it relates to the governance in Liberia, it is worrying from all indication because from the way things are, we have now come to realize from all indication that this particular Unity Party led government under, Joseph Numa Boeka will do nothing good for us. From the way they are proceeding, look at what happened in Grand Cape Mount County. If I will close on this, you went to Grand Cape Mount County in a broad daylight and massacre people. At the end of the day, we saw a police report. We were told, according to that report, that the police was operating in a scope, of operation, whatever. But only the next day for you to come up to say you are giving each of the victim $5,000. Is this not an admission of guilt? That yes, indeed, you realize that what you did, it was completely out of the order, and that's why you're giving these people money. All of these things, we are looking at it. And with the way the government is proceeding, we can tell you this, that we'll be here to checkmate this government. We'll be here to make sure that Joseph Numa Boeka and his bunch of gang, that they lead us because they said they were going to do it. Nothing short than that we are going to take. And we are not going to compromise the interests of the Liberian people. You promised to rescue us, you must rescue us and not come and give us an excuse. If you are talking about the motorcyclist, yes, we want a kind of safe environment for the motorcyclist, but you cannot use a safety, quote unquote, safety measure for the motorcyclist, which all of us, think that it should be done. Then when it comes to the driver, you relax the same safety measure on them. Tell them that 4 person must be in the back, and you know that 3 is supposed to be there. So what happened to that safety measure? So you using another different safety protocol or measure to judge the taxi drivers. and you're using another different measure or protocol to be able to, judge people who are motorcyclists. We think that it is wrong. And if Joseph Newman Boyka and his people, they want to see a Liberia that will be very progressive in terms of development and a quiet atmosphere, they must be able to lead and not to continue to terrorize our people or to threaten our people. And we call on the government to immediately release those Liberians who today gather at the ministerial complex, called, a franchise. They were taken by the police to prison, and they were even intimidated. They were beaten physically, they were harmed. We are calling on the Liberian National Police to release these people immediately, to release them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheriff. You owe me 1 minute. Anyways,
Okay.
let's move on to Bishop Hager.
Well, listen, I want to thank every one of you, the panelists.
Bishop Hager, Prince Sheriff, Mr. Sheriff went 3 minutes over the time he was allotted, so I want to give you 1 minute to give a closing remark.
Well, I'm here tonight to call on all Liberians. The elections is over. The nation, we are all stakeholders in the nation. I want to call for unity despite our political differences. I want to let us understand that no nation is divided, it's built when we continue to attack each other in politics. That's why in our operation as a nation, we have a season for campaigning. That campaign season is over. Yes, you have your right to channel your grievances in a civil manner. We cannot tolerate anything that will create instability. We want to call on all the political actors in Liberia. Let's work together. The betterment of Liberia is for every one of us. The president, Honorable Joseph Newman Boyka, is doing an excellent job. Those institutions who are responsible to evaluate development indicators, like the IMF, like the World Bank, even friendly nations like America, African Union, ECOWAS, they all praise the government and say the government is pursuing something very tangible for the Liberian people. I know on the level of the ordinary citizen, they want results, and I get it. Price of things are going up. Some of those situations are beyond the control of the government. Yesterday, we saw how our Minister of Foreign Affairs was in Angola, and there's a deal that has been signed to make Angola, who have been one of the largest producers of petroleum products in Africa, to help us so that our petroleum prices will be stable. That's what the government is doing. On the ground, we are working, talking to friendly government, talking to institutions that will help us. The dividend will see it. So please, Liberian people, please don't be deceived by these greedy, corrupt politicians who came and stole all your money, your horses, and went all over the place doing whatever they want to do. We are asking you to please bear patient with this government. You will see a lot of improvement. We can see the drug issue are being addressed. We are working in the area of creating a secure environment. We are working with everything. The government have multifaceted problem, but we are working to make sure that Liberian people get the result of this important decision to elect the right man for this time, Honorable Joseph Newman Boyka, and we know he's going to succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bishop Hager. One of your fans on the show here said that they think you've managed your expectations. I thought I was funny to highlight that. But do you agree with them? Do you think you've managed your expectation?
And that's why we are called to do the manage expectation. Or everywhere, not only everywhere in the world. Some of us came here and pursue the American dream. We got to manage our expectation. The American dream need to be managed. You know it.
I thought
the thing we want about America with Kenya, we got to manage our expectation. So nobody will want to use it as a political statement. We all need to manage our expectations.
I used to think citizens were good at excuses, but Unity Party supporters, let's hear from you. Bishop Young had the nicest excuses and the responses to things. Bishop Reeves, let's hear from you.
Well, I just want to thank all of you for the opportunity to express our views freely. And one thing I would say is that I am watching and I'm paying attention. I will call a spade a spade. If you do bad, I will tell you you do bad. If you do good, I will tell you do good. And I will not be political about how I criticize or I encourage or I critique. Right? Right now, I can see that the police director, Gregor Coleman, is doing an awesome job in trying to keep peace and security in our country. Um, I used to, every time I drove and went to Marshall at the junction, the Boys Town junction, it was becoming very chaotic and nobody could do anything about it. You can drive to Boys Town now and the place is free. The police are there, they're doing their job. You can come down to SD Cooper Road in Painesville, and the police are doing their job. And especially the ministerial complex, like during the evening rush hour, you see a lot of police lined up like you've never seen before, helping the traffic to make sure things are in order. And applaud the police. You can right now when you go down to Macklin Street and Ashmore Street, you can look down Waterside and see the whole place is clear, and that's a breath of fresh air. They have cleared the place. The police are doing well, and I want to use this platform to commend Gregory Coleman and his team for a job well done. Um, I'm watching to see how the government is going to play out and do what they're supposed to do. If they're not doing what they're supposed to do, I will call it out. If they're doing well in certain areas, I will call it out. And I think that's what we need to do. And we don't need to encourage incompetence, number one. Number two, um, we need Liberians, we need to change our perspective and our mindset about governance and about how we help our government. Liberians to help your government, like, regardless of what government it is. We need to help our government, work with our government. We need to start helping to stop throwing trash in the streets. When we
Thank
clean
you.
the trash, stop putting trash in the street. So all those little things, we as Liberians, we need to come to that place where we can help to build our country. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you
this
very much.
opportunity. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution as always. Now let's hear from you finally, as our as final panelist, Mr. Williams. Give us your closing remark.
Yeah, I'll try to be as brief as possible. Thank you very much, Derek, for the opportunity. I also want to thank the rest of the panelists. I think it was an awesome experience. It's a great learning curve. I do follow Liberian politics here and there, but not in detail. And I wouldn't reiterate what the last panelist just said. We see some improvement in the city as far as safety, and that's exactly what we want. Our sister Maya Angelou quoted. She said, "I know why the cage bird sings. That bird sings because the bird desires to be free. And the reason why our people are in so much, they all over the place yelling here and there just so that they can get that fresh air, they can get that peace, they can get sanity and all of that due to the high the level of poverty that they have. Dr. King and those ladies that crossed the Paul Barrett Bridge did not cross that bridge to be seen on television. They did that because they wanted to correct what goes wrong. So hopefully we believe strongly that this government will from time to time, and I mean, with these feedback, we'll be able to listen, and then we'll make some improvement. Thank you very much, and I look forward to actually sharing this platform in the foreseeable future. Bye.
Thank you very much, Mr. William, for your contribution today. And it's your debut episode. I'll say welcome again to the team, and this is the hard zone. This is what it's about. I know you saw firsthand the exchanges tonight, but it's all this what it's about. That's what we call it, the hard zone. And to all of you esteemed panelists, I would like to say thanks again for tonight, and as always, thanks for your contribution. And most importantly, to those the viewers, those of you watching us from wherever you are, I'll say thank you so much for participating, just supporting us all through. And this is the beginning of a brand new season, so we look forward to a few more episodes, several episodes on
Can I make
the-
an announcement?
several episode. Several episode on this season. Let me make it. I don't know if did you talk to.
Yeah, I
did you
talked
talk
to the chief CEO.
This
Our
is
own
your
ambassador,
first-
Mary Cassell, will be having something that never been done before, a live concert recording. It's going to be awesome this coming Sunday in Levittown at the Greater Refuge Tabernacle. And she's encouraging Liberian musical ambassador, Mary Cassell, encouraging every Liberian to turn up for that live recording concert Sunday the 26th at 5 p.m. in my capacity as Secretary of the Pastoral Alliance. I'm asking all the pastors, all the ministers, all the dignitaries to come and support Ambassador Marion Cassette this coming Sunday, the 26th at Greater Refuge Tabernacle at 5 p.m. You will enjoy Liberian quality gospel music that you never seen before. I think we have the best musician on the planet, and come on Sunday, you're going to experience it. God bless you.
Thank you very much. And guys, if you're watching us, this is the Hard Zone. This is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. We will be here next Thursday and every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, do have yourself a pleasant good evening.
Eric, it is two Carabato. Fanto.
Philly on the beat.
I'm in love with Haja, 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 kiss me fuller, Haja, 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 can't chill with it, Brabby, oh, Brabby, can't chill with it, Brabby, oh, Brabby, Haja, can't fight with it, Brabby, oh, Brabby, can't chill with it, Brabby, oh, Brabby. My house, Haja, my own Toya Kenja, put on my hair like Kato. One shot for Haja, yeah. But seconds got a speaker. She enter the party, wake up, you wake up,